It was a season of lies, deception, and bounties. How was the ending of the Cold War of I Love Money? And how has everyone been since we crowned our winner? Welcome to I Love Money Bounty Hunters Reunited.
Everybody on the top got the same sound. Everything I'm about to drop, make a name now. Yeah, y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. Y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. Yeah, I ain't never gonna be the same now. I'ma tear up this whole fucking game now. Yeah, y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. Y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. I got so many bars, call it kamikaze. Ain't nobody ever gonna ever stop me. And I know that I could be a little cocky. That's the byproduct of hard work, no it's not free. I'm at a top speed, I think you lost me. Do not cross me, I keep dropping all these hits and I know that they watching. They keep showing up and my place always knocking. Knock, knock, bitch, I've been standing right here. Been over 3 years and now you just got here. Man, get me a beer and open up the mirrors. Let me show you now what you've been missing for years. Call it premiere, I can take a boy's name and smear, or take it up a gear and end your career and make you feel fear, or make you disappear. Cause I am right here and not going nowhere. Everybody on the top got the same sound. Everything I'm about to drop, make a name now. Yeah, y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. Y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. Yeah, I ain't never gonna be the same now. I'ma tear up this whole fucking game now. Yeah, y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know. Y'all don't really know, y'all don't really know.
I Love Money. The winner of DH1's I Love Money will receive a complimentary winner's post on the official Facebook page, a coveted spot in the DH1 Hall of Fame, and a cash prize of up to $100,000. Results may vary. I love money. May the best orger win. Welcome back to I Love Money. Previously on I Love Money, it was a photo finish to the end as the final three battled their way to make it to the final two. It was a close battle. Rafi was the first person to secure his spot in the final two. And shortly after, Chantel secured her spot in the final two, meaning that No Chill Josh got to see No Chill Chair in the final two and got sent home. In the final two, Chantel and Rafi faced off to try and get votes from the jury. And in the end, only one was crowned the winner. Chantel took home the prize of the next inductee into the DH1 Hall of Fame and the cash prize along with it. So now the house guests have reunited one last time to air out any beef or any dirty laundry that they may have after 30 days of competing. So I want to start with Chantel. Chantel, how did it feel to win?
It felt great, even though I was sick as a dog, but I mean, it feels great to make it to the end and complete the mission.
And when you say complete the mission, what do you mean by that?
I mean by having a POC winner and B, a woman win.
So I do want to talk about that. With I Love Money, so far, only women have won this game, women of color at that. To how many of you was it important to see a woman or a person of color win this game? So I wanted to ask, because we had an alliance, the Spades Club, which that was your mission, that was your goal. I wanted to kind of have an open forum to all six of you. What made you guys want to have that mission this season, and what drove you to have that? So anyone can take the floor.
Okay, so basically how it formed, it was kind of formed out of necessity too. It would just so happen that, like, you know, when you hear about another alliance, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you had to do something in counter of that. It just so happened that it was really all the black people was not in that alliance. So we got together and for that cause, and definitely like we wanted to see one of us or two of us get to the end. Well, we wasn't able to see two, but at least we got one to the end. But basically it was kind of like sticking together. And because, you know, in most games, like especially last season, how the 7 deadly sins and the alliance, how they just turn to each other real fast, and we didn't want to repeat that history. We kind of wanted just to stay together, stay strong, and try to get as far as we can.
Does anyone else have any takes?
I just came back. I didn't hear your question.
Oh, I was basically asking. So I asked Chantel what, how does she feel to win, and she said that she was happy that she was able to accomplish the mission, and she clarified that the mission was to have a woman or person of color win the game. And I asked the Spades Club Alliance why that was significant and how it felt to see that mission accomplished.
Oh, for me, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, even before the whole game started, just because I said I would like to see a person of color win doesn't mean like if I was out, I would be like, okay, just people of color just win. Like that was my goal. But I was stone cold on a woman to win. That's what I said. I said if it's not me, it has to be a woman. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all cool or whatever. But I said a woman has to win. It's only because I don't know. I do have like a strong respect for women, and I'm a mama's boy. You know what I mean? So I'm all about my mama. So I was like, that's what I just wanted to see to bring joy to my heart. I didn't care about nobody else's heart when I came into the game. But during the process, then I started caring about people's heart. My Keisha, my Chantel, many others, Darion, Sprinkles, and Josh. Okay, go ahead.
See, I will add when I first came to the game, that was the furthest thing from my mindset was, oh, I'm gonna join with everyone that looks like me. I didn't think I was going to end up in that situation, but at the end of the day, like Darian said, when you get left out of the big alliance, you kind of have to scramble and you go and collect the people who are also left out. And unfortunately, it was all of us. So we just kind of all ended up together that way.
Why do you guys think that was, that it just so happened it ended up that you guys were not like in the major alliance, quote unquote?
I think part of that is just due to wagon placement. Some of the things that fell naturally, because like I was, seeing later on the cast reveal, seeing the other like black people over there, it's like, hold on, there's only one of me over here. So I'm just like, I don't know, like this wagon got paired up as being like a strong unit, a strong group that's working together. And of course, people that are outside of this, like, hold up now, like, what are we going to do about this? And they went and formed together as someone who's kind of in both sides in a way, but also in a way not on both sides. Like, I can definitely see their point of view.
And I just want to say, there's a Black Alliance thing out there. When the wagons already started, I didn't say, "Ooh, I think I want Keisha. I think I want Chantel in my wagon." No, it was randomized. They were already in my wagon. So then when I did try to branch off to people, and then all of a sudden, boom, the first wagons are working together, information coming out. And then boom, some people from that wagon just would not talk to me. Like it was like pulling teeth. So I was like, what else am I supposed to do? Do I supposed to just sit there and get picked off? Or do I work with the people that just so happen to be of color in my wagon? That's what it was for me.
Well, why don't we talk to the woman that kind of set all of this off, Shannon. So Shannon was part of the Wagon Wheel Watusi, which was this supposed wagon alliance. And during the first challenge, Shannon revealed to our winner, Chantel, that her alliance was working together in an attempt to form some type of relationship. So I wanted to ask Shannon, what drove you to basically expose this alliance? Because it looked like you were doing it at first to reel Chantel in as a number for your group so that you guys could have an advantage over the remainder of the house. But then as the game kind of progressed, it seemed that you turned against your wagon. So I wanted to hear your take on this. Oh, let me unmute you.
Thank you. So at first, we all had a plan that we wanted to reach out to other people because we thought maybe we could get another wagon where two wagons could work together. And then that first comp was when we had to get whoever was closest to 4 coins. And so we were trying to have our group have the most people that were closest to the 4 coins so we could be on the wheel, just trying to work it to our advantage. So I had been talking to Chantal, and so I reached out to her. I like working with people from Canada just because there aren't a lot of people in orgs from Canada. So I will admit that I always reach out to people that are from Canada because I just like working with them. And she's from Toronto, and that's where I'm from. So I just felt a connection, and I really liked her. She reminds me a lot of my granddaughter. So I just really wanted to reach out and talk to her. I kind of also gravitate. I gravitate towards people that aren't white because my family isn't white. I'm the whitest person in my family, and I'm like, I hate it. It drives me crazy. So I just feel more at home talking to other Native people, people of color in any way. So, and I just really felt a connection with her. So I went to her and asked her about giving me her coin. But then someone else, who was it, had also spoken to her, someone else in my group. I think it was Alex, maybe.
I want to say it was Alex.
Yeah, I think so. And he had said to me, just so you know, she's working with so-and-so. Yeah. Where are you getting food from? Sorry.
I actually think it was Sarah. Now that I remember it, I believe it was Sarah because Sarah and Chantal had been.
I don't think it was me.
Yeah, I believe it was Sarah.
Yeah, it was someone in the group had said, just so you know, she's saying that she doesn't really trust you. No, I'm good. They're ordering food. So I had a bit of a hesitancy, but I still wanted to continue that relationship with her. She just felt like a really real person. She was probably the person I felt most connected to just because she felt as real as I am. So I was working with my group at the very beginning. Hey, I was thinking, this is great. We're a tight group. I think maybe we'll work together. And it's not like you're going to say you don't want to work with these people. I mean, who does that in a game? So, but then as their personalities started coming out, I wasn't gelling with them. I'm not a catty person. I don't like mean girls. I don't like when people talk badly about other groups of people. They were talking badly about CJ. I think it's CJ, right? Yeah, because of his drawl and calling him slow and saying stuff about Gloria. And I'm not about that in any way. So I decided to out it. I'm not going to be a part of that. And I stand up for what I believe, and I stand up for what's right. And that was not right to me in any way. I wouldn't like it if people were doing that to me behind my back. So yeah, so then I just outed it. I didn't want any of those people to win.
So I kind of want to turn it to Alex, because Alex, you and Shannon were the first people to have an alliance. You guys were the first people to send a confessional and say, I want to work with her. I want to work with him. That's my number one. And we, honest to God, thought that you two were about to run the game because both of you were very likable. Both of you were very well connected. No one had a bad opinion of you. But then Shannon goes ahead and blows up all your allies. And I just want to confirm to everyone, there was no official alliance between this wagon. There was a friendship that was formed. And I do feel that it was right of you guys to form your alliance and go after them, just because I don't feel like you guys would have, I don't feel like Alex, Sarah, Elliot, etc. would have gone after each other just because you guys got along on a personal level. But as far as there being like an actual alliance, I wouldn't say there was really an alliance, quote unquote, until the teams were formed. If there was any real alliance, it was Alex, Elliot, and Josh, who had a 3-person alliance from like the jump. So Alex, when Shannon brings all of this to light, what was your take on all of it?
Man, I was shocked. I honestly was shocked because I didn't know Shannon felt this way. She had never spoken to me about it beforehand, so she kind of dropped this bomb on it during this tea time, and I was taken aback because I seriously was like, I was planning on taking Shannon to the end with me. Like I told the confessional, I was like, this is my final 2. Like I want to work with her. And then she kind of threw my whole wagon under the bus. And even though she kind of excluded me out of the whole shit talking thing, it's still my wagon. It's still me and Josh in it. So as no matter if she said me and Josh weren't taking part of it, it's still kind of throwing us under the bus because we didn't say anything to defend Glow. Even though in my opinion, nothing malicious was happening, it's still kind of like judging my character saying like, oh, that I didn't step up and say anything. If there was any malicious talking going on or any bullying that was said, I would have stepped up and I would have said something as well. But in my opinion, that was not happening. So I didn't say anything. But in terms of the game, my whole game got fucked. And yeah, like you said, there was no like real alliance with the wagon. It was more so we had our wagon chat and we were very active in the wagon chat and we got along with each other. So we were like, okay, like we're friends, we'll ride this thing out, but we never promised each other, okay, we're taking this final 6 to the end. That never happened.
I do have to say there is someone in this call that is responsible for all of this turmoil, and their name starts with an R and rhymes with Daffy. Raffi, do you care to explain to everyone how all of this shit kind of blew up?
Okay. So the order of events, if I think I know what you're talking about, then yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It was like after Circle Night, right? Like that's what we're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. So, oh, what a night Circle Night was. So before Circle Night, like literally 10 minutes before, Shannon calls me, tells me all this. Circle Night happens. I get out Bola because I also talked with Glow a little bit and she said CJ could be a number. So I'm like, okay, let me like try and save CJ here. So then that happens. I go to Keisha because me and Keisha have our power adding. I tell Keisha, and she brought this up in her jury speech. I tell Keisha about this. I'm like, we need to target that wagon. Then the shit at Circle Night happens. I'm like, I didn't really vibe with Shannon's energy. And I was also like, well, I really want to work with Alex. And I feel like Alex is going to really want to work with the wagon now. So then after Circle Night, I get on a call with Alex, I believe. I tell him everything that just happened.
Alex, Sarah, and
no,
Elliot.
and then we get into an alliance call with Sarah and Elliot. Like we form an alliance right then. And then I tell them everything that was being said. And then that's how it all started. And then I went to sleep and Sarah was having a breakdown. I was like, oh shit, she's gonna tell Shannon. I'm so fucked. And then I was like, you know what, Sarah, do whatever you want. And I fell right back to sleep. And I woke up. I was like, what am I going to have to deal with today? I truly did not know. I was like, Shannon, like, it was a mess. It was a hot mess that I started.
I really want to find...
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
The wagon was never like an alliance. I think it was kind of forming up to be an alliance. So do I think that everybody else was in the right for forming their own little thing? Yeah. But I was confused, like, oh, Josh was a part of it, but Josh was also part of the wagon. So it's like, okay, were they just picking and choosing like who they wanted to be in it? Did they just like Josh more than the rest of us?
Actually, no. So this was my favorite part about the HBICs. The HBICs formed on the second day, and this is why I wish I had clips edited. They were discussing their alliance. They all were vibing. They were like, you know, we are 4 out of 6 of the Black people on this cast. We could do a cookout style alliance. And they were like, well, I really like Layla. I believe it was Keisha that said, I really like Layla. She won that first comp. We could just reel her in with us. But they were like, I don't think we can trust Josh, though. I don't know what it is about Josh, but we just can't. I just don't think that we can work with him. And it wasn't until, I want to say, right before Circle Night, where they realized that you guys were all kind of together, that they needed to start reeling Josh in and getting that number on their side. So Darian, you had something to say about that.
Okay, to be fair, it was, okay, so like how that came about, it wasn't just like, oh, we don't trust Josh. How it came about, it was like, so I was talking to Josh and I was like, I said something about like, oh, like I really want to work with him, but you know, there's other people who look like me that I want to work with. Then I think Josh said something about like last time he was in like an all Black alliance, he was like fucked. So I was like, because I told them, I was like, I don't know if Josh will be down for this because I don't know if he wants to get fucked again. So that's how it was like, should we add Josh in or should add Josh not? So that's how that whole Josh thing was like back and forth at that time.
Josh, do you have any opinions on this realization?
You know, it's weird because I did go back after the finale, and when you had said something, Darren, about how the fight we never talked, it's like I feel that's kind of bullshit. So I went back and scrolled through our chat, and I did find that comment that you're talking about where I had mentioned that like the last game I played, I had made like a cookout style alliance, and like it was like 8 of us, but some people turned against me. I think it wasn't clear that I got fucked. I said some people turned against it. So I said, but either way, I guess your judgment was right. But really, it's not like I kind of felt that though. And that's honestly why I couldn't commit to the Spades Club, because I felt like if I went over there, I was going to be on the bottom. And one of the things my motto is when I play games, I will never knowingly go to a side where I know I'm going to be on the bottom. And that was just a vibe that I got. And then I got that same vibe from my wagon after like they went off Circle Night, especially when they went around and saved everyone else. But then I was still left out. I was like, well, what the shit is this? So let me go back over here to the Space Club and try to like see if I can maybe like go ahead and put all my eggs in this basket. But then I still got that, went back to the set like, no, I'm going to be on the bottom. So if you want an explanation for why I played the middle the entire game, that's why.
Josh, can I ask you a question? How did we make you feel like you were on the bottom? Because I don't feel like we did anything to you personally to make
it's just a gut feeling. Like it's just the experiences I have in my life. I know when like the bonds are good. And it wasn't like an issue with you, because like out of 5 of y'all, I felt very close with you, Chantel, and I felt very close with Yoshi. And I remember like after Circle Night, I was trying to go.
You did want to get Chantel out.
That I can tell you when that happened. That was after we were co-paymasters, and she kept grilling me about being in the middle. Mm-hmm. Like while we were in that talk, we didn't practice at all. She was kind of grilling me about being in the middle. I was like, hold on now, this heifer gotta go. Like she coming from my neck and she coming from my jugular. I can't allow that.
I have to ask, it was so weird to me because both of you were in confessionals. Chantel was like, Josh gotta go. Josh gotta be the next one out. I don't really give a fuck. He's got to be second, third member of the jury. And then you got Josh going, I don't like that Chantel basically forced me to vote this way and was grilling me about playing the middle. Chantel's gotta go. But then out of nowhere, I'm taking Chantel to final 2. I'm taking Josh to that final spot. Josh gotta stay. I think that I haven't seen anything like that besides last season with Danielle and Taisha, where they were coming at each other during Twist Night, but then they have an epiphany that they need to work together and stick together. And then they end up in top 4 together. So I have to ask you two, what clicked and made both of you work together? Was it Yoshi leaving? Was it your alliance slowly dwindling? Why did you guys all of a sudden have this loyalty to each other?
For me, it was Yoshi leaving. As soon as our number in the HBIC dwindled, I'm like, fuck. I feel like I'm going to have to pivot. It's either going to have to be Keisha or Josh. Which way am I going to go? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess for me, it was also after Yoshi left. And I think me and Chantel had we had a really good conversation after that. Where I just like, it kind of like made me forget about how I felt when we were co-pay. I was like, no, that's my girl. Like, we're going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
Hey, I have to say, Alex, I know that Yoshi leaving wasn't your intention, but that was probably the best person that could have left, because Yoshi was in everybody's final 2 plan, whether he realized it or not. He was in Chantel's final 2 plan. He was in Keisha's final 2 plan. He was even in Darian's final 2 plan and Josh's final 2 plan. There was a point where he was.
Not final 3.
I'm just gonna say I didn't know that at
Gloria,
all.
there was even a point where Gloria wanted to write it out with you. There was a bunch of people that wanted Yoshi in this game long term, whether it was a final 2 spot, a final 3 spot, or even just being the last person left on his alliance. And I don't think a lot of people realized that, because people saw him as a GOAT or easy to beat in the ends. But Yoshi had a pretty solid social game, and seeing him go home was a shocker. So Yoshi, how was it being taken out of the game at top 11 when you were set up really well?
To be honest, I didn't know I was set up that well. I was just trying to get like round after round because I'm gonna lie, after Glow didn't leave, I was like, I don't know what to do. So I was just like, I'll just try to get round after round. I was trying to talk to people, then some people weren't responding to me. So I didn't know how to feel. I was just trying to like fill out the game as it went. I just knew I loved me some Keisha. I loved me some Chantel. I had really good conversations with Josh, but like I said, that middle shit was like, I don't know, it's rubbing me the wrong way. But I I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I got in that bottom though, I knew it was over for me. I knew it. But I'm not the type of person that wants to give up. So I was like, what can I say? I was trying to interrupt Keisha. I was trying to interrupt Darian. I was trying to copy what they were saying. I was trying everything, but Miss Layla wasn't having it.
Layla, I've seen a lot of eliminations in I Love Money. There's been a lot of I've seen Demonica vote out Bria, who like was her org daughter. I've seen mothers and daughters separated, loved ones separated, but this was probably one of the saddest eliminations I ever saw. You broke down in tears. You physically did not want to send anyone in that bottom home. What made you choose Yoshi to leave over Keisha and Darian?
Sorry, I was cleaning.
You're okay.
But well, I knew I wasn't gonna get rid of Keisha because me, her, and Chantel, we had Destiny's Child, and even if we didn't, I just couldn't let another girl go. And with Darian, it's just that he saved me during Circle Night.
Mhm.
So I felt like I had to repay that. But it was really hard to choose between the two of them, like really hard.
I could tell.
I just want to say, I still love Layla the same. She's amazing. Okay.
She was sick.
Thank
she was
you.
sick to her stomach. I felt so bad for her. Gloria, the woman on everyone's tongue. I thought it was so ironic, your relationship with Yoshi, because you came into the game and you were gung-ho, I want Yoshi to go. Yoshi is not trustworthy. Yoshi is gonna make you all fall in love with him and then slit your throat. And somehow along the way, you two ended up working together. And Yoshi was trying to keep you safe. You were trying to keep him safe. You were trying to join his little crew. And funnily enough, your coins ended up sending him home, and you were indirectly responsible for his elimination. Did you think that that was a possibility? Were you happy that you ended up sending him home? I've heard that you're 0-3 with him with games, but now you're up one. So how did it feel when you basically sent him home?
My aggravation was where I stood in the game with people. And I think that, to be in all honesty, I'm not going to speak for Yoshi. I think we really like each other. You know, really, really, truly care about each other on the level of our socialization. And I think that Yoshi, but I'm not speaking for him because I want to hear what he says. I think he knows that I consider him a great player that needs things that need to change. Not everything, not his social for sure, but his, vulnerability to slip from one that he could be with through a whole game to another, which I didn't feel this time. He made me feel that way. I would have never probably in this game, had I had more pull, been in it since the beginning, to have relationships that I knew could go somewhere, like so many of them. I believe that I could have gone to final 6 before I made my final decision based on the other games of the things that Yoshi does. And I was determined that I was going to take my anger again with what he did opening the game and switch it and let him save his game or kill his game. If they asked me, I was going to answer what he did in other games. And I did that. I said, Yoshi's a great guy. I don't like what he did. I don't bring other things into the game. And I think my spill ran. I didn't go after Yoshi.
So do you think that after this game, your guys' relationship has healed? Has the fences have been mended? The bridge has been put out?
I think we finally got to the 50-50 where it was a 75. I'm done with, 25. So I think he gained another, 25%. I think we're 50-50. And I think we'll do well in games together.
Do you agree, Yoshi?
I do. Coming into the game, I'm not gonna lie, I was not excited to see Gloria query, but during the process, she grew on me. There was a point where I was like, okay, like come on, Glow, let's go. Like she grew on me. Not let's go to the end, but like let's go, let's skip through the medals. And I really was feeling that, and I was really loving me some Glow. And she's entertaining. Sometimes she makes me want to, but she's but she's entertaining, and love her to pieces. And I would love to play a game with Glow sometime in the future. Yes.
Well, Gloria, now that I have you here, I do have to say that you did break records this season. So first, I want to congratulate you. You are the second member of the 100-day club, because I don't count season 1 days because I don't have the official day count. But you are one of 2 people to play this game for 100 days. The only one is Sharonica, who is a legend, and you are a legend yourself. You played 101 days of this game, and that's impeccable. Your worst placement is 5th place, but you can't seem to get past that threshold of 4th. And it's crazy to say this, but had Josh not booted you and booted Chantel, you had a really real chance of actually winning this game, because there were people in that jury considering voting for you. Now, don't get me wrong, you had a lot of people that were against you, but there were people there considering voting for you. I have to say, the weirdest thing about watching you play Glow is that you are a completely different person in the die room than you are when you're actually in the game. When you're in the die room, you're like, okay, I know that Chantal and Keisha are the biggest threats, and that at some point they're going to have to leave. I know that my best bet is to try and wrangle up all the people on the outside and take over the other alliances in the game. Like, you knew what was going on. But when it came to the actual game, to use a word from the commenters, you would kind of filibuster and not say where you actually wanted to stand. And I felt that it was maybe out of fear because you didn't know where you stood in the game and you didn't have a clear place in it. So can you explain to me why there is such a disconnect between your die room sessions and you actually in the game?
It's because I felt like I was like not a danger to anybody. They didn't make me feel like I was a danger, but they didn't make me feel I was important, because I can see all the relationships now, and then what I would have each one socially, and none of them could open it up and say about the other one they trusted and say like, let me go, like, and I might get some of the words, names wrong on what I'm thinking right now, but like Chanel would be tied up with like, I did it again. I apologize.
You're okay. You're okay. It's okay.
But Chantel, and that's my daughter's middle name. There's no excuse for me calling her Chanel. And she's been a great sport about it. But not any of them could say, I need to get up and talk to Keisha and Layla, like if I was talking to Chantel, or Keisha saying, I need to get up, with Layla and Chantel and or Darian or whoever it was. None of them had the guts to say to me, this is who I'm with, Glow. Would you come on board? All they would say on one-on-ones is, well, there's people watching your back, or you weren't at the bottom. Well, you got 2 sides saying that, or 3, whatever you're thinking, 2 or 3 different things or cohorts that are playing both sides. Not anybody in the game could do that. The only one that stood up for me was Shannon. I didn't even know really where Cheryl stood with me, because but me and her, we were tight in our strange way.
My favorite part about your guys' relationship was that there was one call where you were sure that Cheryl put this bounty on, I forget who, I think on I think on Rafa, and it really wasn't her. I forgot who it was. I think it was like Keisha or Chantal. It was or no, I think it was Darian. And you're sitting there and like Cheryl's breaking down in tears and you're just smoking a cigarette and you're like, yeah, well, that's what you get, kind of. It was so mob boss. Like, it was so funny, Gloria. Like, I wish I had the clip. But what's crazy, Gloria, is that this is like a running theme with you in all the seasons, is that people want to keep you around, but they never reel you into like a tight alliance. Why do you think this is a consistent thing that happens with you?
I don't think they have the guts to believe what I tell them. And I tell them, go out there and do their research. I don't hide that I've been in media. They don't have the guts to take the chance with me, or they just don't want to be bothered. I'm a gutsy player, and I like gutsy players. And Chantel started growing on me when she would put me on the spot. She'd say, put it out there. All right, if you're a player, then you'd be like Chantel with me. And I think Chantel, and I'll say this to her face, would be a fool not to want to be with me in another game, because I think we could have such a great experience, because that's the kind of players I like. But when you've got a whole mesh of players that can't tell you anything, but they got a stash of backup, what can you do? So
I want to see a show of hands. Raise your hand if you think that Gloria can hold water. And when I say hold water, that means keep a piece of information that you give her to herself. Raise your hand if you think that she can do that. No one raised the hands. I have to say that the reason is, Gloria, is that when you come to lives, you are very upfront and you'll say, oh, I think this wagon is working together. And, I can't tell you, but people are keeping me safe because a group promised me that I would be safe. I remember at the beginning of Circle Night, you were saying, well, I can't say because it's a group keeping me safe. So the reason, you know what? Let me ask Keisha. Keisha, you had a very back and forth relationship with Gloria where there were times where you wanted to reel her in. I mean, you literally changed the plan to vote Bola into the bottom instead of Gloria so that she wouldn't go home. Why didn't you ever reel her into an official alliance?
Because that exact same night that I talked to her right before, and I said, you cannot throw us under the bus. We're going to vote in Bola and we're going to keep you safe. And without saying our names, she basically threw us under the bus because she said, the wagon is working together, everyone on the wagon. And they said, well, and Rafi says, well, who are these people? Say a name. She says, I'm not going to say a name, but the people who are backing me, I'm not going to throw them under. Well, if you think and put the numbers together, it's easy for you to figure out who the people who are not on the wagon that are backing you. So like I voted her instantly at the next moment to vote. So I was just like, Gloria, all you have to say is nothing. At that point, it was nothing.
It was our wagon.
The best move for you at that moment was to say nothing, because after that, we would have kept you safe the whole rest of the time.
I think the thing is, Gloria, is like you came into these lives and you were like, well, I only tell the truth and I only speak the truth. Nothing I say is a lie. So why would I share anything with you? Because then if someone asked you, you would tell them the truth, right? Like that's where my logic was. So why would I and that's what you did to me right at that final four when I was like, Josh, when I was like bullshitting and being like, Josh, we were in this together since the whole time. And then you were like, wait a minute, Rafi, you told me that you wanted, like, that's what you did. That's why I don't think I wanted to work with you in this game, because you do tell the truth. And I don't want you to spread my truth.
It's how you tell the truth. There's ways to tell the truth without really speaking anything that hurts anybody. I think some people don't know how to take that and process it and understand that from my perspective of what Keisha's saying is, okay, there's wagons, but there's other wagons. So the wagon that knows, let everybody think what the F they want, especially when they're both saying there's 2 and 3 people like you and Josh that they thought were playing both sides. So I can say anything I want when I'm on the grill. If you ain't got no backbone and nobody has got the guts to say, okay, well, she put it out there and now we all know. So do we want her now because she didn't throw her name under the bus? Or did she do that to say maybe it's the other wagon, or maybe to make both wagons doubted? Especially when people think they've got something, but there's people playing the middle. They don't always have what they think they have.
But at that point, the only other wagon other than our wagon was Raffi and Layla. So
Because the other wagon was inactive.
I'm not working
Yeah,
with,
people
and
thought
I'm
they
not
were
working with
wagons,
Layla.
and then there
And
were
you-
side chats where there were
Whoa.
2 and 3 people from both sides saying they had something together.
And you specifically told Raffi said, I wasn't in that. And you said, no, Raffi, you were. Okay, so that's one more check off. Let me go back and count who's left.
Well, let's look how many times, I may not have done things right, that I had to pressure 8 rounds, and I had to pressure and didn't always do things right, but I still did not say the names.
I adore you, Gloria.
That's what I'll give you. That's
I
what I'll
adore
give you. You never said a name, and it annoyed the hell out of
But
me.
Gloria, I do have to say this though. There were a lot of instances where I would be, giving someone else a question. I remember the night where it's my favorite vault ceremony of this season. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's the night where Layla bought the Cocoa Bunny and you're all trying to put someone in the bottom, but no one can get a name from Josh or Gloria. And you're just sitting there the whole time like this, just watching everyone. And then finally I go to Josh, who could be the one to be the one to say the name. And while I'm asking him for his vote, you're like, well, you know what? I don't really know. Fuck this. Let's just send it to Chantel. And he's like about to say a name. And I think that sometimes you speak up when you don't have to. And it puts the pressure on you when it wasn't on you. Because most of the game, people weren't actually after you. Like, they actually weren't. Even if it looked like it was on you, there were other people that they wanted to fry. What did you have to say, Josh?
Well, to be fair, in that moment where Raffi kind of put me on the spot and saying everyone needs my vote, it was because this was the night that she also went and said me and Darian's name.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big clusterfuck. And then me not really wanting to say a name when I was like, okay, the bunny's on Alex and Raffi. I did go back to Gloria. So in a way, I kind of deflected back to Gloria to see if she said, because I thought she said she was also going to put her vote on Alex and Raffi. So if that was the case, I was going to go ahead and pile the votes on there and see how that goes. But she then went and changed her mind. It's like, okay, there's my way out.
I thought it was very infuriating because I think you did that twice where you're like, well, I'm not going to vote for anybody. You did that twice. And both times you still ended up on the bottom. Like, I would have rather you had made a choice and put me and Alex on the bottom or me and whoever on the bottom than just be like, I'm just going to risk it. Like, I was just like, okay.
I think that everyone would have, well, maybe not everyone, but I think people would have respected it because what you were basically saying was correct. What you were saying was, I can't nominate Chantel and Layla, or I can't nominate Keisha and Layla, because if I do that, Chantel's just going to send me home. There's no way she's sending those two home. And you were 100% correct. She was absolutely not going to send those two home over you. So if you had just said that and said, I'm sorry, I got to nominate Alex and Raffi, I think that it would have been a little less harsh, or it wouldn't have been taken as bad. So I want to ask Alex, because your facial reactions have had me living. You did not leave the game with as positive of an outlook on Miss Gloria Query. How did it feel basically making that move with Gloria, and then the following round, she basically kind of screwed you over?
Listen, it was frustrating to say the least. The whole game, Gloria talked and talked and talked, and when I needed her to talk, she stayed silent and didn't want to talk. And so I was frustrated. I understand why she did it, because she did make a good move. I will give Glow that, because if she did say the names that me and Raffi wanted, she would have gone home. But it still was frustrating that, she gave us the coins and we were like, okay, we got this. And then she basically let us get mauled by the dogs, AKA Chantal.
And listen, Gloria, even though you're getting critiques right now, you are nowhere near a bad player. And I have to give you this, whether it was intended or not intended, you were responsible for all for pretty much all of the eliminations this season, minus a few. And I'm going to go down the list of all the eliminations you were responsible for. We're not going to count the 2 inactives. So we'll start with Sunshine. Sunshine goes home because Shannon places a bounty on him. Why does she do that? She wants to save you. She doesn't want you to go home. The following round, Cheryl goes home. Sarah sends Cheryl home besides all the other stuff going on because she saw you and Cheryl as a pair and she wanted to cut that. Following round, Bola goes home. Bola gets sent home because the HBICs decide that they would rather use you as a number instead of Bola as a number. It was between the 2 of you and they decided to save you over Bola because you had the bigger target. The following round, CJ goes home. Now, CJ, you could have saved him. You had the power to save whoever you wanted. You don't save him because he put that bounty on you. And in turn, you save Shannon and he ends up going home. The following round, Sarah quits the game. And Sarah quits the game because Shannon calls her out because she was allegedly talking badly about you. The following round, Shannon goes home. Why? Because she stands up and defends you because people were talking bad about you. So that's the whole pre-jury out the way. Then we've got Elliot. Elliot goes home because the others start not liking him anymore after the way he reacted to you putting a bounty on him. Yoshi goes home because you gave the coins to Alex to use the sheriff's badge, which ended up sending him home. Alex goes home because his target grows increasingly after you give him the money to get the sheriff's badge. I would say that you can't really count Darian as one of your victims just because he got taken out by a challenge. You could say that you took immunity from him, but you can't really do that. Cheryl goes home again because of her connection to you. And then I would say the last couple of eliminations you can't really take credit for. Layla and Keisha just got sent home because they were bigger targets, and so was Rawan. And then you just go home at top 4. So you ended up being mostly responsible for, I would say, all but like 3 or 4 eliminations this season. I've never seen a person be indirectly responsible for so many eliminations this season. Why do you think that you were able to, what do you think it is about you that is able to cause all of this chaos to go on, but then just keep on surviving?
Because, I told them the truth that I was indirectly, feeling like I was nothing more than a number, and they didn't consider me a dangerous number, and they trusted me more than the others.
Can I just say, Gloria, you're a motherfucking G, okay? You did all that shit without even fucking realizing, and you're out here like this smoking a cigarette. Yes, I did that, and...
Like I said, shoulder pads on for this one. I guess I earned it after all these years. I've ran with the big dogs, and some of y'all can be big dogs if you start believing them in games. And I'm hoping that Yoshi gets there.
To kind of wrap this
No,
you go ahead.
No, okay, to be fair, like to go back to the whole Gloria Alliance thing, I actually did try to start one with Gloria on like day 1. Like we had a phone call and like she was going online, she was talking about like she liked Cheryl, she liked what she said? I think she said CJ, Elliot, and I think she said Shannon too. It was like a question mark next to Shannon and Layla. No, Shannon and Keisha. So I was like, oh, I really like Keisha. I really like Elliot and stuff. And I was like, well, like, what do you want to do about this? Like, do you want alliance? And she was like, oh, I don't like to use the alliance word. I like round by round. So I'm like, she was like, well, because I was like, are you sure you don't want to do alliance? She was like, no, just a round by round because I know my name will be said. So as long as you don't say my name and I don't say your name, I think we should be good. And I was like, well, I'll let you know if anything changed. If I am going to say your name, which I was going to tell her if I was going to say her name, then like fast forward to the round that me and Josh was put up, I was like, oh, damn, Gloria, I purposely not said your name this whole entire time because of that. But, I mean, Gloria is a phenomenal player because clearly she don't see to get that to that.
I also say that round that nobody listened to and believed. I said I was pressured all the time, 8 rounds. 8 rounds of, I think it was 8 rounds. If I'm wrong, call me on it. I might have the number.
How many times you were in the bottom?
Yeah.
7 times.
Okay.
You tied Isaiah.
I had that more than anybody in the game with nobody opening up okay, let's get together and chat. Not that we all would have had a live chat together, but something that was real to me.
I
That
have a
they would
question.
say,
How many times was she in the bottom because she was last place loser?
One time.
Okay. Because I generally don't remember.
I had all those rounds and felt like I had no real backing where people were secure enough to say, so and so and so and so, we like you, let's do this. Never. Nobody ever did that. I felt like I was used to, I'm just telling you how I felt. I felt like I was always going to be the bottom wherever I was. So I
I
didn't
did
feel
do that. I included you.
Yeah, me and Alex tried to include you. We really did. We had a whole conversation the Sheriff's Badge night trying to include you, trying to be your ally.
We were like, we need you, me, Rafi, Cheryl, and Raywan, and we have to be tight going into this double eviction or
I
double
still
elimination.
fell at the bottom of y'all.
Isaiah brings up a good point. So Isaiah, you can speak on this. Isaiah played with Gloria in All Stars, and he fell into this exact same problem. He tried reeling Gloria into an alliance to overthrow Sharonica, but she folded and didn't work with him. So Isaiah, can you give your take on this?
Not too much because I'm at work, but I played with you 2 seasons, and both times I feel like you did the same copy and paste thing where you claim nobody is trying to reel you in, and then when people do try to reel you in, you just say that, oh, it's not genuine. Oh, I'm at the bottom, so I'm going to screw them over. And I'm like, that's what got me sent home, because I was like, I was trying to work with Glow, and then Glow exposed my entire plan to the person I was trying to blindside. And I saw you do the same thing here. So I was like, I think it's unintentionally your strategy, but it works out.
Well, you know what? When you play the whole game and then you finally get at the bottom and then you feel important, it's probably not that important to believe anything anybody says to you anymore.
I feel like it's like, so when you're at the bottom and then you finally, there's an opportunity for you not to be at the bottom, you're like, F you should have did it earlier, and then you just don't do it. You screw
That
that
might
person
be very
over.
true. And now that you're bringing that to light for the second time you said I've done it, maybe I'll reconsider it in the future.
I do think that that's what it is, Gloria, because I think you're used to coming into these games and people being excited because you are a very interesting person. You have a whole life story. You've done all these things. And I think you're used to people wanting to work with you. But when you've come into this game, people don't hop on it. Because to be honest with you, the org community is not that good at casting. Sorry, not sorry. Most of these Facebook games don't know how to cast for shit. It's a bunch of wannabe Big Brother players that would never actually make it through one round of casting. Oop. But so naturally, they're going to want to work with someone that actually is interesting. But in this game, I've seen it with all 3 times that you played that you kind of got overshadowed. The first time I felt you got overshadowed by all the newbies, because the newbies you had like Lance and Megan and Hannah that were like huge personalities and even overshining you. So you kind of got lost in the sauce. And then with All Stars, there were so many previous beefs that were going on in previous relationships that didn't involve you that you again kind of got lost in the sauce. And then with this season, you came in hot. You got into like a disagreement with Yoshi that first night, and people weren't exactly too keen to wanting to work with you because you overshared that one first night. So then when people actually came to the decision, I want to work with Gloria, you felt it wasn't genuine, because the reason that you said you didn't want to work with Alex and Rafi was that you felt they were using you. To an extent, that was true, but they did actually want to bring you in as a number because they wanted to take over the game. So after hearing all of this, to kind of wrap up this segment with you, if you were to play again, if you were to come to All Stars 2, would you change anything?
Yeah, I would change that because they've made me feel like they would really do that. That they know the real me, and with the right people, let's take the game to the end. Yeah. I need to know that. And now I do. You've thrown 2 things at me that have not ricochet, but have brought to light a new opening for me to consider. But if you get tired of feeling used all the time, you get the attitude, just like how you ended one of your segments, me smoking. Well, I guess they really hate me a lot, don't they? That's how I am.
That's one of my favorite moments of the season.
I want to win. I want to run with the big people, and I want to be the one that makes somebody after all these years know, like I've done with Debbie Warner. I'm a person that can send you somewhere to make $1 million. They come to me.
Her.
Keisha, you wanted to say something.
I wanted to ask Gloria, so if you play again, are you going to actually pick a side this time? You're going to actually pick one.
If they have the guts.
I just want to say also that is why what made like red flags all pop up in my head about Glow is that she said we have to go after the first wagon, but she was like, but if I win Paymaster, how do you feel if I put you in the bottom? I was like, what?
Yoshi, I remember one night, I think it was right after I got eliminated. I texted Yoshi, I was like, I know exactly why you have beef with Gloria now. I know exactly why.
No, but I love her.
My recommendation to you in the future, Gloria, if you were to play again or play in another game again, is speak the way you spoke in your diary room in the game.
I agree.
That's all you need to do. Just be specific and people will respect it. Because I Love Money isn't a game where you can be vague. And that was the only reason why people didn't trust. I mean, like, all 3 times you've been 1 spot away from winning. So I mean, like, it's not that bad of the actual gameplay. But like, that's my recommendation to you. But Cheryl, I wanted to turn it to you because there was one actual alliance that Gloria had this season, and that was the social workers with you two. And you seem to be the only person that really did connect with Glow. Can you talk about your relationship with her?
Well, she messaged me night 1 after everybody got their feet wet with the game, and it's just like an immediate connection. You know how they say when you meet your soulmate, there's not love at first sight, but the same thing. It's just, you know, that you found someone that you can trust, someone you can bare your soul to, so to speak.
Thank you, Cheryl. You're the real deal.
I have to ask, however, the first, or I believe second vault ceremony that you came back to, you voted for Gloria. What was the reason for that?
That was pure panic move, and I was concentrated on her picture on the Zoom call, and just for some reason, word vomit came out.
Well, do you plan on keeping your relationship with Gloria after the game now that the game is over?
Well, yeah, she does.
Of course.
All right. Shannon, I feel that you kind of, and you agreed to this, you kind of threw your game away for Gloria. And it was completely out of morals, and I completely respect that. Do you regret sticking up for Gloria and doing what you did with Tea Time? Oh, you're on mute.
So, as you know, like, what came out at Tea Time was going to come out anyways, because I'd been talking about. So I just want to throw in here that everything that I had said at Tea Time, I had been talking about stuff that was going on with these people in my diary rooms. So in no way, I just want to clear it all up that what I said was not fake. The only thing that wasn't 100% accurate is that Rawan was not as active. She was bullying people. She was saying certain things, but how can I say? There was one thing, I can't remember what it was, but that she wasn't a part of that I had thought she was. But other than that, she was saying things. Her and Sarah were very catty, and all of that was true. And the swearing, whatever the hell, what's his face said, is true. And you know it's true. He did say it. It was in a video. So I just want to get that out of the way. And then, yeah, I threw my game away for her. I wanted to be there longer. I was sad to go when I did, but I felt so much better after getting that off my chest. And the only thing that angered me about that wasn't really that I left, it was that people didn't believe me. I knew that Chantel believed me. And that would be why I left her my tokens. And like I said, I had a lot of respect for her. Other people that were a part of it, and like I did say that Alex wasn't a part of it, and I'm not going to say any. I said he wasn't a part of it, and I wasn't 100% true there. I'm not going to go any more into that. But I didn't want to leave, but I felt good if I had to go, that it was in that way. Like I couldn't keep, the game for me wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for me after that. After people were doing this and saying this, and I was keeping it inside, and then going to Glow, like somebody said that when I went to Glow, it was just to make her feel bad. It wasn't to make her feel bad at all. It was to let her know what was going on, because I would want someone to tell me. And we've been friends, like we're friends. We talk almost daily. So I don't regret it. Although I regret that I was out of the game because I love your game. Do I regret leaving behind those people that were ignorant? Not one bit. No, I felt relief when I left. And I'm really glad that Chantel won.
I will say that Chantel was very sad that you went home. And I said to HBICs, and I still believe this, even though some people disagree with me in production, the night where they sent you home was, to me, the night where a lot of the HBICs games were done. And this was the reason. I felt like this season, people were very afraid to stand their ground.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch season 4, and that's why I tell people to watch old seasons of this show, season 4 had a very similar structure to this season, where you had Ebola, which was the all-female alliance, against everyone else. And the reason why everyone else got picked off one by one was because they didn't have a plan, they didn't have a target, they never stuck together, and they didn't trust each other. And Ebola stuck together despite hating each other, getting in fights every single day, and like, oh my God, so toxic. But they stuck together and were the most successful alliance in the history of this game, and all made it to jury because they had a plan and they took out the threats and they weren't afraid to stand their ground. And when you guys sent Shannon home, even though Shannon volunteered to put herself in the bottom, it left Alex in the game. It left Rafi in the game. It left Elliot in the game. And because you let them stay in the game, Alex was able to get his power. Rawan was able to go on her comp win streak. Rafi was able to weasel his way to the final 2. The goal should have been to knock those people off. And Keisha said it best. Knock those people off so you're left with the stragglers, and then you can pick them off easily. And if you guys had done that, Alex wouldn't have been able to get that power, and then it would have been much easier to knock those people off. You may have lost someone during the purge, but had Shannon been there, a lot of your games would have gone further, and Shannon, you might have gone deeper. But I have to say, Shannon going home that round was a win for Josh. That was one of the best moves. And that was really smart on Josh's part, because it allowed him to not pick a side, and it allowed him to get someone out that could potentially take his spot, because they were looking, and honestly, it helped Gloria a little bit too, because had Shannon been there, they would have had Shannon take Gloria's spot.
I just want to say, really good, there was the people. If you were not in that power outing, there was nothing you can do. That's just what it was. Like, you couldn't save Shannon or nothing. That's why when she said, "Put me in the bottom," I said, "Mute her, mute her."
But we've seen that before. We've seen that before, where people have volunteered, but then all that y'all needed to do was just, even if Josh wasn't going to vote with you, you had the 5 votes. You just needed Gloria, Cheryl, and Shannon, and it could have been a thing. But
the kind of big piggyback off of that, it was just like, I don't, because like after the night, I was pissed at everyone, like, because I talked with Isaiah, probably know, I talked to Aaron like daily from last season about it. I was ready to leave the alliance at that point, because it was,
did not know that.
Yeah, so it was okay. So like in my mind, it was like you said, like Isaiah said, like there was times where, you know, we would have a group call. I guess is when our downfall is like alliance. Like we have a group call. We had a straight plan, but when it came to vault ceremony, like especially like when I threw out Rwan name and everyone was just sitting there like, I'm
Everyone
like,
choked.
where's the backup? Where's the fucking backup?
The only reason why we couldn't set on a name was because of Josh. Let's be real. We had to be careful with what names we said because we were afraid that it was gonna get back to the other side.
And that's the problem.
We felt like we couldn't speak freely in the Spades Alliance. But
And that's the problem was that you guys were in the mind frame of Big Brother and Survivor. This is not one of those games. It doesn't matter if they know where. Listen, everyone knew where the alliances were. Like after Circle Night, everyone knew where the Spades Club was. Everyone knew where the outsiders were. It was cut and dry where everything was because everything is revealed when the vote comes down to it. So my advice is, if any of you were to ever play again, is come into this with an I Love Money mind frame, not a Big Brother and Survivor mind frame, because it's completely different games. And I know that it's hard because we're all used to. Oh, what were you gonna say, Keisha?
No, I was just saying I tried. There was times in the calls where I'd be like, what names are we saying? And everyone would say, it depends on who okay, well, we need like a contingency. We need to know like if this person wins, who are we gonna say? And I would be like last minute texting, like, who are we going to say? And nobody would say.
It's just funny because like the second part to that is like, I don't know, it was like because it was many rounds I said were one name. It was kind of like nobody hands but.
And then I jumped on with you. I was like, right away, I was like, okay.
And that's why, like, because I know how it felt. So, like, when Yoshi got to vote first, and Yoshi said Elliot, and someone, like, I immediately jumped in there. I'm like, okay, well, because usually I'm, like, the first one out of that group to say something. So, but Yoshi was the first one. So I was like, okay, now I got to get on Yoshi train and back him up with this because I know how, like, we don't need another person going home that is not bad for our game. That's...
I'll tell you the reason why it was hard for you guys to land on a number, because Rafi and Alex made the smart move of forming an alliance with Keisha and Darian. And because they made that alliance, you two did not want to give up either of those numbers because you didn't want to break that alliance. True or false?
No, I would have said Alex in a minute. It was Rafi was.
No, we was ready to say the name. It was just kind of like it was just freshly made, so we was like, but because even the call put us off because they was like gung ho Layla. So like me and Keisha got off the call. We was like, oh no, like this cannot work. So like we was ready to in that tie.
What were you gonna say, Rafi? Oh, was Rafi gonna say something?
I said Layla. I was like, I wanted to test them. I wanted to see how close they were to Layla. And I got the reaction that I knew I was going to get from Darian when Darian was like, no, I don't really want to do Layla. And I was like, okay, there you go. So I was like, and after that, like the chat just got kind of like quiet. And I was like, okay, this alliance isn't real.
My portion got quiet because when I got on that call, it was towards the end. And that call was like, okay, you said you were going to say Elliot and Rowan. And when that night came and you never said, and you were like, when Elliot didn't
I said I was going to say Elliot and Rowan?
Yes. Yes.
No, yeah.
I need receipts.
Yes, you did. And
okay, I knew what the mix-up was. I think it was I think how the Elliot and Rowan came was if Shannon would have won the Paymaster, I think Alex would have just gave Shannon one of the two, so it wouldn't have been him. Yes. I believe. I think.
Okay, yeah.
They're interchangeable. You would give her what she wanted, and then when that time came and you didn't even look up to say his name, I was like, this is not.
I was never gonna initiate it. If like the majority was going that way, then it is what it is. But I was never gonna be the first one to be like, yeah, Elliot and Rowan. Just like Darian was never gonna be like, yeah, Layla.
Interesting. Well, speaking of alliances, I feel like we should talk about kind of the elephant in the room. We should talk about Sarah a little bit, and I'm not gonna talk too long about her just because she isn't here. But I felt the losing moment for Alex and Rowan and Rafi and all of them was when Sarah quit the game. Because once you guys lost Sarah, you guys lost a comp beast, B, a person willing to make a move, and C, the majority. At that point, it became split even. And I felt too that the move that really exposed that you guys were all together was when Sarah did not save Yoshi.
Yeah.
That one move showed where the house was. Yoshi, up to that point, you and Sarah did have a pretty good relationship. How did it feel when she did not save you?
Ooh, it cut to the bone in the moment. It did. Because I like Sarah in my confessional. Before I even really started to get to talk to Keisha, I said that Sarah was the person that like I'm mostly liked in the game. And so when we got to Circle Night, and then not only did she bump me down once, it just boop, boop, kept going down and going down. I was like, dang. So it really made me feel like her in the moment. I was like, dang, I guess I'm not as close to her as I thought I was. And I was in my feelings, I was a little crybaby about it. But after it was over, I was like, okay, it's a game. I'm over it.
She also went to everyone in messages, and I don't know what was said in the messages. I have an idea, but she went to everybody in the game and had a private one-on-one and kind of, well, not you guys. Raise your hand if you did have a one-on-one with her.
Like in private DMs?
Yeah, like private.
Let me check, because I don't remember it being in private.
I just remember she went on a call with everyone, apparently. But again, I felt
I honestly don't remember.
I felt like had she just taken a second and breathed and let everything settle, she would have been fine, because there were other targets in the game, there were other people to go after. And I think that whole situation between her, Shannon, and Elliot could have been resolved if there was a conversation. And that was it. But I want to talk about Rafi for a second, because Rafi, the second that you found out what she was doing, I'm just going to pull up what you were saying in your diary room, because it was pretty funny within the span of a minute. Oh no, this is about when they told you to shut up, which was also crazy when everyone was telling you to shut. That was wild. I wish I had a clip of that. Hold on, I'm trying to find it really quick.
I talked a lot in that diary room, so
you said okay, so you started off by saying me sitting here in bed as Sarah attempts to ruin my game for closure, and I don't know what to say to stop her, and then you put an emoji. Okay, this is gonna sound mean, but like you could quit the game and talk to her after the game. Like, you quitting is already going to fuck some people over. Why do I have to get fucked alongside it? I mean, am I crazy? Am I mean? Should I just do it after Shannon gets voted out and the game's over? Annoying as fuck. Fuck.
Oh my god,
fuck,
yeah.
fuck. I'm going home. Fuck me. Fuck. It was wild. You were not here for it in the slightest.
No, because okay, to me, and this happened because Shannon had messaged me that morning. It was like, Sarah called me and I just thought that she was all fake crying and all that. And that's what I knew was gonna happen, is like, we're still in game mode. If you want closure for the game, you wait till after the game, because we're still in game mode. Nothing we say can be determined as real. So even if like Sarah went to Shannon all apologetic, it would have been seen as fake, or like just like trying to like play up something. Like, that's the reality. So you wait till after the game. If she wants to quit, she can quit. That's fine. Like, it's gonna, like, as I said, it did fuck us over. If she's gonna quit, she's gonna quit. I'm not gonna tell her not to quit, but that doesn't mean you have to go. Because I know for a fact, at that point, I thought I was the only one that knew. So I was like, oh my God, Shannon now knows that I told her. So like, that was like my whole thing about that. It was like, if you want closure, you wait till after the game or when you both are voted out, so that it can be determined as real. Like what you're saying is at least like partly real, that, and it's not just game.
Like, a part of me believed her. Am I on mute?
No,
No, we can hear you.
A part of me believed her, and we had a phone call. She called me, but it was like the night before, and she called me And she was crying because I thought she was a bully,
Yes.
and because I thought she was bullying. And I told her, Sarah, like when she was crying, and I honestly like didn't know where she was at mentally at first. And I was like, it's a game. Like, take a breath. It's a game. Shit happens. Don't worry. She was worried about how other people were going to perceive her.
Yes.
And I understand that because she was saying some pretty nasty things. But I mean, it's a game. And if she apologized, if she said, shit, I shouldn't have said that shit. I'm so fucking sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sure people would forgive her. Like, I'm sure Glow would forgive her. Glow's a very forgiving person. And if she said to me, I'm not normally like that, I don't know why I said things like that, I feel really shitty, because I've had people say racist shit to me because they think I'm white. And they, you know, then they come to me later and apologize, and we have a conversation and we have a learning moment. So if she would have come to me, you know, and just said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said the shit I did, she would have been fine. She didn't need to blow it out the way that she did, but she was that nasty that she didn't want people to know what she had said, so she quit.
I really do wish that she was here, because
Me too.
This is what I've known Sarah for a while. Like, I met her while she was in the sequester world. And I think that Sarah still had trauma from while she was in that world. She is very outspoken. She likes to have fun with the game and play the villainous role. And some people take that personally. Not everyone is strong enough to handle a villainous type of game. And in that community, she was labeled a bully. She was labeled vicious and evil and all this stuff. And, you know, it really affected her once everything was over. And I think that when in this game, she was again being labeled a bully or being labeled whatever, it was affecting her personally. And I think she just doesn't want to be viewed that way. And the way that Sarah is she jokes around and she trolls, but she never is like trying to be mean. And I think she, and I'm the
she
same
doesn't
way.
realize that what she's saying is offensive to people. Like, I mean, just because she's joking, like, that's why I kind of winced a little when you said it, just because, you know, she may not mean to, but I mean, a lot of racist people don't mean to be racist. You know what I mean? So it's like her saying some really nasty things about Glow and other people, like, you know, about CJ. I'm not even gonna repeat things that were said because it's not necessary. Things that were said is like very cringeworthy. And so it was very hard for me. And that's why finally I was like, fuck this shit, I'm done. So I think that if she's been called that in other games, and if this is like an ongoing thing, she should really just kind of look at the things that she's saying that are offending people and that maybe are not the best thing for her to be saying. And I'm all for joking and joking around and stuff. I'm like that in games. I can get loud, you guys saw, but there's a line, you know, like when it comes to racism and ageism and all of the isms and ists, it's just not okay. So there were some pretty nasty things she said that was said that pushed me to my limit. And so I hope that if she watches this, I hope that she kind of takes a look at herself and maybe educates herself a little bit on the things that she's saying on how it can affect people. So
better yet, maybe she shouldn't try to be a villainous person if
she
doesn't have the spine to play the part and deal with it.
I think that Sarah the person is lovely, very sweet.
I loved her until
nice.
that,
Getting to know her one-on-one. I think everyone here had a really great interaction with her. Like, everyone here really enjoyed Sarah, like, throughout the course of the game on a personal level. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I did. And I felt so bad for her that last call, like, because she's a person and like I've had to educate people before, not that I like having to keep doing it, but once you can get past that and say, hey, maybe just don't say these things. So I wish she would have just said, fuck, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said these things, instead of just, she was only worried about how people were going to look at her. She wasn't worried about fixing what she's doing that is offending people, you know?
And I
but
think
she needs to know, though, that needs to be fixed because she's in media and it will follow, you know, the things we do. But I want Sarah to know right here, Sarah, let it go, baby. I could care less about what was or wasn't. It's over with.
You didn't, Gloria, you didn't really like hold much weight to what was happening, but I've seen this with people before, in this game and in orgs in general, where like, you know, when I come into games, I play the part of the villain. It's my strategy, and it gets me to the end because it makes
It's
people think
fun.
I'm not a threat to win. Oh, it's so much fun to cuss people out and come dressed as a witch. Like, I love doing it. It's a great time. But not everyone has the strength to, you know, hold that. Like, it's kind of like Bianca Del Rio, where she goes on a stage and she reads people to filth, but then when she comes off the stage, she's this lovely person. And it's hard with Sarah because we did a confessional with her and she showed me a video of her making someone cry and laughed about it. And it just was weird to me, but then I understood, okay, maybe that's just how she jokes. And again, I think that if you guys had a calm conversation like this, and this is what the reunion is all about, airing the laundry. And again, that's why I'm sad she's not here. But having a conversation about this, you can look back and be like, okay, I can see where I was wrong and I can see where I wasn't right. I wanted to show a video where Gloria and Sarah were talking. And during that conversation, I don't think, Gloria, you were aware, but you were kind of getting trolled. And it was kind of her way of like poking fun at you and like the things that you would say. Like, I remember she asked you a question if you thought orgers were going to hell. And, and I think you actually said yes, that certain orgers were going to go to hell, which was actually really funny. But there was just things like that. But to wrap a bow on it, I don't think anyone here thinks Sarah's a bad person. I don't think Sarah is a bad person, even though I don't think she's fond of me, because I told her how I felt and I didn't censor any of it. But I think she's a lovely person. And I hope that if she does play another game in the future, that she reflects on this experience and has a better one next time.
Just be Sarah. Don't fill any role. Just be Sarah.
So moving on to Elliot, who also isn't here, just so we can get all of this stuff off the table. This is the statement in question that I think really got you upset, Shannon. So this was right after Gloria placed the bounty on Elliot, and Elliot's emotions were high. And Elliot claimed in his diary room that his strategy after playing in this Trick or Treat Halloween special was to kind of base his game off of Rose Moulet. Do I think that was a smart move? No, because Rose Moulet is fucking crazy. But he wanted to overreact to things to make people think he was emotional. And I've met Elliot in person. Elliot is a sweetheart, one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Like, I can't tell you all the good things about Elliot. He's very nice. But I think that when he came into this, and in Trick or Treat, no one really came after him. Everyone was really nice to him. Everyone liked him. But some people, when they come into games for the first time and people aren't necessarily a fan of them, it kind of can snap in their head. And I think that part of it was strategy, but I think most of it was his genuine emotional reaction. And he says in the Wagon Watusi chat, LOL, she told me she was going to lift my bounty. Shannon says, did she? Did she lift it? Elliot says, I don't know. I don't know. What is done is done. She placed a target on me regardless. You say, guess so. Then Elliot says, couldn't be a mature adult about it. And then Shannon, you go after a minute. I think you're fine. Doesn't even matter. You put question mark. Her owning up to it was kind of being a mature adult. I don't know how many people would have done that. So this is what ticked you off, was Elliot saying that he felt that Gloria wasn't being a mature adult about the whole situation. So can you explain why you felt that was an offensive comment?
I think it was from the constant digging at her. So this is when I was at the end of my straw, where I just had enough, for me to finally speak up to him and defend her, because I had just gone to Gloria and told her shit that they were saying. But this time, that silence before I spoke again was me thinking, do I say something and have him mad at me? And then the morality kicked in and I was like, no, fuck this shit. I'm going to stand up for what's right. So that's why I said to him, no, I think she was being, and I was mad. I remember when I typed it, like I was boiling inside, because he's again saying, he was treating her like a fool, like she isn't a mature adult, like she can't make decisions, like she's stupid. And they called her that many times. And I finally had enough. And then you put that in there and put that with the other comment that he had made, with the other ageist stuff. And yeah, I blew. I had finally had enough. And just that he doesn't own up to what you say. If I say something or do something, I own up to it. I like being a villain, so I have no problem claiming what I've done. If you want to be mad, be mad. But don't call me a liar when you said it and you did it.
Did anyone else from the Wagon Watusi chat remember that comment being made?
Which comment?
The comment about Gloria couldn't be a mature adult about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember like those words specifically, but I do remember that whole interaction between Shannon and Elliot, and Shannon being like, no, yeah, I think like she was a mature adult, and Elliot being like, no, I don't think so. Do I think like it was that nasty of a comment? Not really. Like,
Nah.
I'll call someone immature. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
What
because
did you think, Josh?
Excuse me, I'm over here eating dinner. I remember after that exchange happened, I got on a call with Elliot. I'm not sure if Alec, this was in our alliance chat, or if it was just a one-on-one with Elliot. Lord have mercy. I remember we got on a call shortly after that, and he was just like incensed. Like, why is Shannon coming for me all of a sudden? Like, why is she
I
doing
stand up for it? Yeah.
Like, and he was just kind of like going off, like, why is this woman coming at me sideways? Like, that's not exact words, but like pretty much the same energy. I was like, what the fuck is going on over here?
I sensed it. I knew Elliot didn't really trust Shannon, and I think after that little exchange, it was like, okay, like Shannon is not part of my plan.
He didn't like that I stood up to him, period.
That might be part of it.
Huge part of it.
I think that
there are certain male personalities that don't like strong women.
I don't think that he has a problem with strong women. I just think that he had a
problem with you.
Yeah.
That's not altogether true, because I had owned up to that. I had done what I did to him, and told him to his face. He said, no, I figured it out. I said, no, you didn't figure out anything. Everybody's laughing behind your back.
That's right. He doesn't like that.
I said, everybody's laughing behind your back, so I'm letting you know. So later on, I don't know how many days after that it was, he became very humble in a conversation with me, because a woman had set him straight. I'm going to get that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is still tripping me up. Are you telling me Elliot took a note from Rose Mullet?
Rose
page?
Mullet. He did. It was hashtag justice for Rose Mullet. I have never ever formed your game after Rose Mullet. A girl who said on call that she was gonna die. Like what?
I just can't imagine me like, okay, before I go in this game, I'm gonna take some notes from her.
Listen, that gameplay can work for you. It's worked for me many times where I act over emotional and it makes people think I'm not. And I got his reasoning. His reasoning was he thought that if he overreacts to things, people will think he's an emotional player and doesn't think strategically. The problem is he did have some emotional gameplay. And like, I love Elliot, but some of his gameplay was based on emotion, and that was the problem. And I thought that, and I think that the lesson from this season is perception. That's the magic word, perception. We need to be cautious of the things that we say and the things that we do, because everyone perceives everything differently. And even though I think that Elliot made that comment in passing, and I think a lot of other people felt the same way, things can be taken very differently depending on who's looking, you know what I'm saying, based on our past experiences and things that we've seen in the past. So I think that that's another thing to lesson to learn from this season is perception, and be careful what you say and be careful what you do.
Perception.
That's very true, because Elliot put his profession out there to me, and he was worried about the insight of how it's going to be viewed in this game in media. So that part of him was real, and then he got humble about it. And I'm not making fun of him. He got real. He got real with what he had done. Yeah.
I do think that that's another thing to touch on. Oh, was someone going to say something?
No, go ahead.
I do think that's another thing to touch on. being in the org community for so long, and I'm sure that people like Alex and Gloria, who've also, and Shannon, who've been in the org world for 5+ years, can relate to this. There are certain things about yourself that you want to keep out of the org world, just because you never know who's listening. You never know how crazy people get. Not saying that you're crazy, Shannon, or saying
No,
that
it's
anyone
okay.
here is
No, it's
crazy,
okay.
but if you feel that there's something that could affect your real life, where I actually don't think anything in this particular game is going to actually affect your real life, if I'm being honest, unless you got a crazy person out there that's bitter that they got eliminated. Will. But like, there's things about me. I work at an elementary school. Would I ever put out there what school I work at? Hell no. Because you never know who's gonna be crazy enough to call up that school and say, "Oh, you need to fire Dylan because A, B, and C." I still am getting fucking death threats from people that were mad about last season's reunion. So I think that the mistake there was bringing up the profession, even though I don't feel that he was doing it on purpose. I felt like it was, just general conversation, because it is his first game. He's just getting comfortable with all of you. But I do think it is important to revisit that statement that is in question, because this is where a lot of the drama came from. So during the Strip It On challenge, you guys buried it all, which I wasn't expecting, because in the past of this challenge, we never have had that. Like, y'all were living your stripper fantasy, and I will give all of you credit, because all of you, like, y'all lip synced for your life. You twerked your little booties off, and then you did that challenge, and it takes charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent to do all of that. And I appreciate that from all of you, because I felt that a lot of you went out of your comfort zone. So hearts back to you. So I give all of you an applaud, and all of you are my role models for even doing that.
And I just want to say, I had sprung my index toe during that twerking competition, and it took a while to come back. So I was very upset when I lost those coins. But go ahead.
I just want to say, Dylan, I think it was a travesty that you didn't ring that twerk bell sometime during the jury speeches, because
I completely forgot that you had that punishment. I totally would have done that.
To be fair, Dylan, like, I think a good thing, because like for me, I think I told this a little bit before, like, I'm a person who's in my box. So like for this game took me out my box. Like, if you ever, like, for me, if I twerk, it's to myself, but actually like going out there for people that I would never do it in a million years. Even when it comes to getting like naked on camera, I would have never thought I did this. I guess it's just a testament to like how fun I made the game, where I feel like, okay, I can do this, and actually do something out of my comfort level.
It's a very freeing experience, and I will say that we've had people come into this game that, I mean, not necessarily with that specific challenge, but we've had people come into this game and not have as high of confidence. I remember Gianna Tilley Reed. She played this was her first ever on-camera game. Now she plays all these other games, and she like never showed her face, anything like that. And we had a player like that this season. Keisha, I wanted to talk with you about that. And then Cheryl, I want to talk to you too. But Keisha, you were a fan of mine for a long time, and you were in the comments section. You watched all the seasons and all that, and you revealed to us that you like had never been on camera for anything like that before, and that it was a big deal for you to do it. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so not everybody knows, like, I was gonna be on last season, but then I had to have a hysterectomy. So I'm actually still in recovery from my surgery. So the whole time we were doing this, like, I was certain things I shouldn't have been doing, but I did it because I was trying to push myself to see if I could actually do it. So like I had really bad self-esteem issues, like really bad. And like I was shocked that I actually signed up for this, because the fact that like I'm going to be on camera, the twerking thing, I cannot believe I did it. And it's like on YouTube. Like I can't believe I did it. Like I really can't. and like the lip syncing and all the dancing and like that bottle challenge, like all of that was like physically taxing on my body, but I did it, and I'm actually really happy that I did, and I appreciate you for believing in me enough to get me out there to do it, because it really was difficult. It was very, very difficult for me to like step way outside of my comfort zone. But it was fun because I met a lot of great people. So yeah.
And I
may
give
not
you
see
major
me
props.
'cause y'all may not see me. I'm
Thank
seriously thinking about retiring.
I don't
Gloria, the
believe
org
you.
world would not be the same without you. So
I've already turned down 2 other games. I can't even think what they're called for January and February.
yeah. But Keisha, I give you all the props in the world. And, you know, that's why I tell people that I think that this is a really great game to do. Even though I would say I remember Jimmy Pink called it the boot camp of orgs all the way back in season 2, because it's very hard because you have to show your hand round after round, which can make the game pretty intense. But it can bond you with people. I mean, Jimmy and Nika, they still talk to each other. They've met each other's families. We all that. We have a relationship that blossomed out of this game, which I love. But I think that this is a great game to play, even just once, because it'll put you out of your comfort zone and it'll make you do things that you may not be used to doing. Like I've had people come into this and that, you know, didn't necessarily know things, and there are very relevant relevant moments. So I do want to turn to Cheryl. So Cheryl, coming into this, you were very apprehensive of playing, and I know that you wanted to play because you had messaged me during last season and said, Dylan, I love your show. You know, I wish that I could play, but I know that my career is done because of everything on Twitter. So before you came into this game, there was controversy surrounding you. I don't know the full story, but it was something to do with some game and something you had said. And then there was that tweet that you had made with your chihuahua or whatever. And you made the decision to bring that point up after you had been saved from I believe, the first elimination. So I want to ask you, why did you choose to bring that up?
Before I answered that, Dylan, I wanted to point out you was talking about the strip it off challenge. I wanted to point out that the best part of that challenge was the more that the clothes came off, the lower and lower Yoshi's jaw kept getting to the floor.
Oh my God, I'm weak.
I was stunned. Like I'm telling you, like I watch a lot of YouTube. I've seen some impressive things here and there, but Glow really blew me out of the water. I was so, I don't know, I was in awe. I just felt like, wow. I don't know. Christmas came early.
I need to give it to Gloria, 69 years of age, and you bared it all, bras and panties.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of older women that watched this show that probably saw that, and I've had people reach out to me about it, and it really helped them, boosted their confidence, seeing someone in your age bracket doing something like that and, you know, enjoying your body and all that. Like that's fantastic. Like seriously, like, so hats off to you and hats off to everyone else who participated in that challenge.
Anyways, back to your question, Dylan.
So yes, so when you came into the game, A, were you worried that it was going to be brought up, and then B, why did you choose to bring it up?
Yes, I was worried it was going to be brought up, but the reason why I brought it up was just it was starting to eat at me, and I felt the need that I needed to bare my soul. There were some Rafi that were aware of what had taken place, knew what all had happened, and I didn't know that at the time, but I just felt, I know after I had said everything, that it felt like this ginormous weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
So I did want to turn the table to Rafi and Alex, because both of you are of Latin descent. I believe, and then Oh, I'm thinking of Elliot, but Elliot's not here. He's also of Latin descent. So, Rafi, I know that you knew about the situation coming into the game, but then Alex, when you heard about the situation, how did you feel about it?
Are we talking about the picture inside of the Chihuahua inside of the Taco Bell bag?
Yes, we're talking about that.
I don't know. I honestly didn't take that much offense to it. I can see why someone would, especially someone of Mexican descent, aka Rafi. Um, I had only known Phil to be a nice person to me in DMs. I don't think the picture had any malintent to it. I appreciate someone having the balls to bring it up in front of a group of people, especially people of color, and saying, "Hey, listen, I apologize. Like I did what I did," and trying to be a little bit more educated about certain things that you can and cannot say and do. So good on Cheryl for that. And
Alex, you hit the nail on the head. The picture was not meant to be mean, derogatory, or anything. We just thought it was a cute little picture. It was something fun my son did for his birthday party with the family.
right, but you do see how someone could be like, okay, taken aback by that, correct? Now looking back at it.
I'm sorry, I did not hear your question. I had background noise.
You do see how someone could kind of be.
I can see that, but it was not intentioned that way. It was just meant to be a picture.
And you know what, Cheryl? Again, I think this brings us back to the theme of this season: perception, the magical word. You can intend something to mean one thing. You could have all of the kindness behind it. You could have no malintention, but the way that other people can perceive it can be, oh, why would she say that? Oh, that's racist. I'm offended by that. It's all about perception. And it's important to listen to how people feel, to listen to how people take things, especially when it affects that person. So I want to turn it to Rafi, because Rafi, you spoke up when Cheryl was basically explaining herself. And I got to give you kudos, because a lot of orgers come into games, and I'm not saying that anyone here, I'm not saying that Cheryl, you tried to make Rafi feel some type of way or whatever, but a lot of orgers go into games and they feel afraid to speak up about things like this, or afraid to speak their mind in fear of being voted out or being a target. So when Cheryl did bring this to the table and you spoke up, just talk about that. Talk about how you were feeling and all that.
So let's see. The whole situation, I knew about it. I didn't even know about it when I first applied to this season. No, I knew about it before I was asked to play this season. And I was asked to play like a few days before the first day. So literally I learned about it from Twitter, because you had announced the cast at that point, like part of the cast, and it became a thing on my feed. So you announced on Twitter, and I saw the thing. I'm like, okay, let me look at that's what happened. So I was just sort of like, oh, that's racist. Move on. I'm never gonna interact with this person in my life. Then Isaiah asked me to play, so then I come into the game, and then it doesn't click to me that I'm playing with you, Cheryl, like just yet. And I'm like, oh wait, that thing happened like on the premiere day. And I honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't really think anything of it like while I was playing. I'm like, because when you this is how I feel as a person of color when you come into these games. And I played in an era where there wasn't a lot of people of color in playing orgs. It was a lot of white people. So when you come into these games, you sort of get into the mindset of like, let me not bring this up because I will be targeted if I bring this up. Like, let me not do it. However, Cheryl brought it up. So I saw that as my chance to be like, okay, now no one can like blame the angry POC for like bringing up like like a race issue. So I saw that as my chance to sort of talk to her about it, because I didn't think Cheryl was like malicious with it or was like an evil person. I was, because I was getting to know Cheryl. I'm just like, Cheryl seems sweet. Like, I would like you to ask about it, but I don't want to ask because I don't want her to turn on me.
You could have asked about it. I wouldn't have been offended by it.
Yeah, so when I got the chance, so I wanted to, speak what I wanted to say. I said everything I wanted to say during that live, essentially, so I don't feel the need to rehash it. But yeah, I just saw it as an opportunity to just bring it up to Cheryl because I think Cheryl um isn't necess- isn't racist, so that but if she does a racist thing, obviously it's gonna, and people are calling her racist, it's gonna affect her. So I'm trying to like help her and like try and educate her a little bit as to the whole situation so that she can grow to be a better person, you know?
My son, and the story behind that picture is my son had brought over one of those Taco Bell party packs the night before, and he hadn't thrown the box away yet when everybody came over the next day. So he's like, "Hey, Grandma, Grandpa, look at this." And because the dog was tiny at the time, she fit right in the box. That's all it was. It wasn't had nothing to do, no connection to Taco Bell or anything like that at the time.
Well, and to kind of put a bow on this before I ask if anyone else has any opinions on this. When we cast Cheryl, we got a lot of pushback from a lot of haterades. And the reason why I call them haterades is because these are people that never interact with anything. They never like, they never share, they never follow, etc. They just like drama. So they jumped on a bandwagon. And I want to explain the reason why we let Cheryl play. And this wasn't even my sole discretion, because like, if I'm going to let someone like that play, I'm going to take a step or a lead from my production team first. And that's why I think it's important to not only diversify our casting, but also diversify the production team. V, you're not part of this. But I feel like moments like this are very important. And we can even go all the way back to season 2, where you have Heatherly Cameron and Jimmy Pink arguing with each other, because you got Heatherly Cameron, who is a disabled white woman from Canada, and then you have Jimmy Pink, who is a 40-year-old Black woman. And they're talking about their struggles. And Heather basically is trying to say that, you know, Jimmy doesn't know what she goes through and you could never compare it, et cetera, et cetera. And then Jimmy's like, well, you don't know what I go through. You don't know the struggles that I have. And Heatherly Cameron is a person that I feel doesn't exactly have the best education on this stuff. And these moments are important because we have viewers that watch this and may not know about stuff like this. And it can help the org world grow. And I think that a lot of people are afraid of conversations like this, and they don't want controversy, and they just want to put on a game. And I saw another game canceled their whole game because they couldn't handle the heat. But I think moments like this are important and relevant to the org community, because it's how we grow and how we have conversations. And I'm so happy that now that the community has been diversified, because it never was this way, go back 2-3 years ago. Now that the community has been diversified, conversations like this are happening more often and more relevant. So that was basically the reason why we did allow Cheryl, because if we thought Cheryl was a risk to everyone's safety here, we wouldn't have let Cheryl in the game.
Did I not bring that up when you had messaged me about playing, that I was concerned about backlash for you?
Yes. Like, I don't think Cheryl is an Alex Sizemore. Fuck that guy. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. But I'm glad that you're listening to what everyone has to say. And I hope that this has been a learning experience for you, and that you can walk away from this feeling better about this whole situation. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm teasing you, Dylan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did anyone else have any feelings on this before we wrap it up? Darian has his hand raised.
Yeah, I will say I did know about it before, but I guess that was my struggle coming into this game. It's like how do I deal with the situation? Because I don't know, Dylan, you seen that yet? Like, besides there was one person who like added me on like Twitter. It was just some very like vile stuff that I wouldn't say to like my worst enemy. So it kind of just like it was like that pressure, like should Cheryl be my target coming in? Just to be like honest and real open. But like actually getting in the game and actually like playing with Cheryl, it's like I guess it was a different experience actually like talking to Cheryl and Cheryl being like open about I guess what she did. But it was like a moral dilemma, especially coming in. But like at first I didn't really talk much to Cheryl. Not partially because of that, it's just that me and Cheryl didn't talk, but actually getting to talk to Cheryl a little bit more and like jury part. I I guess I'm glad to actually talk to Cheryl, and I guess Cheryl actually having the whole conversation, able to kind of like be educated and like kind of learning from mistakes wise.
Before you go on, Dylan, I just wanted to say you said perception was the theme of the season. If I was the way people perceived me to be, I wouldn't have survived where I was at during the last season, which I sat and watched.
Shannon, did you have something to say? Because I saw you kind of like putting your face into kind of face palming a little bit.
Just I understand and I'm sorry, but it can't be I understand and I'm sorry, but, and I think we talked about that before, you know, when we were talking about this during the game. It can't be I understand and I'm sorry, but. That's what gets me every time. But there's no but. Don't say it, don't do it, and everything is good. It doesn't matter what your reasoning was. It's offensive. Don't say it. Don't do it. There can't be a but. There's no but. Your point doesn't matter. How you feel about it doesn't matter. You're offending people, a lot of people. So it can't be but. It has to be, fuck, I'm sorry. Because to me, when you add the but, and I love Cheryl, but when you add the but, that tells me you don't understand. So there's a lot more learning that needs to happen.
And then I believe Nay has something to say. So I'm going to give the floor to Nay. And Nay was actually one of the people that was like, I think Cheryl deserves a chance to play. So I want to hear, and Nay is of Afro-Latinx descent. So Nay, you have the floor.
Let me clear my throat. I'm sorry, I was laying down. I'm going to just say this. I did want to give Cheryl a chance. Yes, I am a part of the Twitter community, and I seen some of the things that Cheryl said. Do I feel like Cheryl was racist when she said those comments? No. Do I feel like Cheryl is misinformed with certain information of people of color? Yes. Do I think Cheryl has explicit bias? Yes, but I don't think Cheryl is racist. So I didn't mind taking the heat when me and Isaiah's friends were coming at Dylan, because at the end of the day, it was a production call and just not Dylan's choice to bring Cheryl. Dylan said he really didn't know anything about it. And since me and Isaiah were like, it dealt with our friends with some certain comments that Cheryl has said in past games and over Twitter, he left it up for me and Isaiah to decide if we wanted to cast Cheryl or not. We both said that people deserve a second chance to prove themselves, and if not, it was going to go two ways. Cheryl proved herself to be what people thought she was on Twitter, a bigot, a racist, or Cheryl was going to prove that she learned her lesson and she's more informed than before when she made certain comments. I'm gonna leave it at this because I have been seeing certain comments, whether they're on the YouTube chat, they're on Twitter from my own personal friends. If you are not a person of color, you do not get to say how someone else should feel. You do not get to say this is stupid or this is sensitive or people are too sensitive. If you're not Hispanic or Latino, let me say that again. If you're not Hispanic, Latino, or Latina, you do not get to say someone is too sensitive if they see a dog in a Chihuahua box with a certain caption. You do not get to dictate how someone feels. You're not of that descent. That's all. Thank you.
Well said. Well, I think we should wrap it up there. I wanted to get all of the tough parts out the way so we could get back into game. So I think we're all good on that. And we got
wait.
Do you have anything else to say?
Yep, you just didn't finish on that comment because we kind of veered off when you were getting into the Elliot comment that got everything heated.
Oh my God, I thought we dodged the bullet.
I know, right? I just want people here to know that I didn't make it up. That's all. Okay. You just have to put out there, I didn't make it up. He did say it and I'm good.
Okay, we'll finish this part up quickly because Chantel did have a point that she wanted to make. So I do want to let our winner have the floor. But the comment that was in reference happens on a call back when I believe it was when your team was rehearsing for the 99 bottles challenge.
Yes, but it did happen.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
That's
it
it.
was I believe it was a joke where people were talking about the strip it on challenge, and they were talking about Gloria and about how they were basically joking that it was hard to watch her or that it was cringe. And the comment was that he had an oath where he can't like look at a patient or something
He
like
took
that.
an oath. Yeah.
Yes. So I believe that comment was, I don't believe he was trying to be derogatory with that comment, but again, we have to be aware of how people can perceive things. And when you are speaking about the one older lady and about how you don't want to look at her, but then everyone else is doing the same thing, that's how the perception can come off. And I think that was the way it came off to Shannon. And I don't know if that was the way that he felt at the end of the day, but that was the comment made. And yeah.
If he didn't realize it was wrong, he wouldn't have denied it. He would have said, shit, I said it. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. But instead, he lied.
I'm not sure
Just
that he
saying.
remembers that he said it, is the thing.
Okay.
That might be
I
it,
love you,
but,
Dylan. Okay.
But the only reason why I don't want to go too much into it is that is that he's not here.
Yep.
So
Nope. That's okay. I just wanted them to know I didn't make it up.
Yes. So.
Oh, Shannon, I knew you didn't make it up. I just didn't want to take a stance because we were playing the game. So I was like, what do I do?
So
the two people want to work together, going against each other.
So we're all good on all that stuff. So we're gonna move back into the game. So Chantel, you had something that you wanted to bring up, so I'm gonna give you the floor.
Okay, so my question is to everyone except Keisha, because she's a part of it. I want to know why people thought like me and Keisha were like super strong, because we never
And
like
Layla.
Okay, but everyone always said me and Keisha, and then it was me, Keisha, and Layla. So like, why? Cricket.
I didn't say it, but it's just because of what I heard. But I told you.
Well, I think for me, it was, I didn't really believe it until after Alex was voted out, because I was like, well, Layla has Keisha's back, so they're working together. And then it was sort of like I felt like every time we were on the lives that it became almost like me, Rawan, and then you and Keisha, and then Gloria and Cheryl. Like I saw people as like duos. Like I saw career people working together. I thought you guys were working together because you guys just seem to like vibe so well, and like
we never even spoke during a live. I never even spoke to Chantel during a live, and most of the time we didn't even vote the same because she wouldn't vote. She would just kind of chill in the back. So like, I don't know how everyone lumped us together, because during the lives we literally never spoke to each other.
I want to ask Layla, because we haven't heard from her for a minute. Layla, why do you think that people lumped up you, Keisha, and Chantel together? Because you guys didn't officially have an alliance until about halfway through the game.
I mean, well, I do think one reason is because Keisha and Chantel did kind of stand up for me a lot of the time when like other people were trying to target me. But like, to be honest, we are the 3 Black girls in the game. So I feel like subconsciously people are gonna associate us with one another, whether they mean something malicious out of it or not. I feel like that was just gonna happen.
Keisha, Chantel, do you? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Yoshi.
I was gonna say, because I was hearing about it, and then you said it wasn't a thing before people made it into a thing. I want to know who came up with it. Who said it? Oh,
I heard it from Alex.
Oh,
no. I didn't hear
I'm the same person who thought it was the Cookout Alliance. Like,
no, I didn't explicitly hear that specifically was Keisha, Chantel, and Layla. I heard it was Alex. You did tell me Keisha, Chantel, Darian, Yoshi, and Layla were working together.
I will say that Alex.
I said, yeah, I did say I'm kind of worried that there might be a Cookout 2.0 alliance. That was my gut feeling, because it'd be very easy to just be like, okay, yeah, let's get like the Cookout people and like make an alliance, and that could be the Cookout 2.0. And I was scared, and I told Rafi, I was like, yeah, like they could be an alliance. They can just agree, like, okay, like let's do a cookout and steamroll this game. I never said Chantel and Keisha were for sure.
Yeah, I was
like,
just talking about the women.
I never associated Chantel, Keisha, and Layla specifically together.
But it's like to kind of piggyback off the comment. I think that's the not you, Alex. This is just everybody else who was on that side. I think that's the thing that just makes it really frustrating because with a lot of us, we tried to talk to like Sarah or Juan. We really tried to, because like coming in, I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna work with Yoshi, Chantel, Keisha, all of them, but we tried. These people gave us dust. They gave us nothing. Go ahead, give us no energy. That's what they gave, and it was like, well, shit. Like I tried, because like coming in, I knew Sarah. Like I really tried to talk hard to Sarah, but with Sarah, it was just like talking to CJ for me. It was like talking to a brick wall, and it was like, well, I did want to work with Sarah, but that's not an option. And I tried with Juan, and Juan was like kind of the same thing. I guess it's chalking up to her being busy. So I was like, well, Chantel is talking to me, Keisha's talking to me, Yoshi talking to me. So it's like, it just, I guess, all fell together.
Another thing, Alex, I'm not gonna lie, I was high-key mad at you when I fully told you, like, I have your back in this game, and you left me on red. That's another part of the reason why this quote-unquote cookout alliance felt like we needed to work together, because nobody was trying to talk game or do anything or like align. It just felt like I also
think left you on red. It was probably like a mistake or like my phone died or something. It wasn't like, you know, I'm not gonna answer her because I don't want like to give her a promise. I would have for sure said like, oh yeah, I have your back in this game too. I think you took it the wrong way, but if I wasn't in my wagon situation and we didn't kind of agree like, okay, let's like have each other's back, and I wasn't like in a different wagon, then I for sure probably would have tried to make an alliance with like other people in the game. But I don't know. I was trying to talk to everybody, but an alliance besides my wagon wasn't really formed. I would have been down, but unfortunately, like you guys had your thing, and it kind of went from like a side versus side type of thing.
I also think it became like a thing where it was like, to go back to specifically Keisha, Chantel, and Layla specifically, like it also became a thing where when that was thrown out in the air, like perception becomes reality in games very quickly. So once something is said, it can't be unsaid, and then it sort of forces those people to work together. Like even if you guys weren't working together, that someone saying that to someone else forces you to work together. Since people are already going to assume that, they're just going to target you for it. You might as well, right?
No, but okay, we were working together. Like I was working closely with Keisha. However, like I never gave you guys the perception that me and her are tight. This is part of the reason why I stayed quiet. I did not want to speak up because I don't want to show my cards. So when you guys just grouped us together, it's like, but what did we do? We didn't do anything to be aligned in that way. The only thing that I will say that could be valid was that me and Keisha were in the same wagon.
Does anyone feel like wagons were kind of what led to the alliances that were made this season?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I went off in my production chat saying how I don't like this wagon business. This wagon business is not fair. I want to work with people, but they don't want to work with me, and blah 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 blah.
Why did everyone kind of just stay to their wagon? I have my theory, but why does everyone feel like they stuck with their wagon?
I tried, but
me and Layla are sitting here
I got
for me, it's because after Circle Night happened, and then it was the whole
because y'all were all together because this whole thing was going on before.
No, I'm saying after the Circle Night thing happened, when Rawan made the comment saying that they're not an alliance, but they had an agreement to not come after each other. So it just kind of leads like the flexibility to even try to want to do something different or think differently from where your standpoint is.
Well, and Dylan, also, like, to be fair, day one, the information was given really quickly, like, this wagon's working together. So, like, from day one, you got the information, and it's like, okay, just, had to retaliate that. So I think day one is what set the foundation for, like, the wagons. It wasn't what Glow said because the information was already known. It was just like,
Shannon.
yeah.
I loved how the whole wagon thing was like.
Information in saying that her wagon is aligning and wants to join up with another wagon gave me a red flag. So I went to my wagon and I was like, guys, this girl's trying to recruit me on her
It's
red
true.
wagon and I don't understand why. It's only day one, sis. What's going on here?
Screaming, crying, and throwing up.
So I guess Shannon kind of did lead to the downfall of her wagon by making that one comment.
I thought the wagon thing was so funny though. It was like these wagon is all working together, except me, and then except Alex, and then except Josh. And it's just these three specifically.
It's like we got grouped together and after Circle Night being like Sarah being like, okay, but if you save this person, can you save this person? And but wait, okay, but let's save this person. It exposed like everybody's cards.
Nail in the coffin.
It exposed my cards for shit.
And this is why we didn't do teams this season, because usually people just stick with their team. Or, well, last season was a unique case. Last season they did 3 from each team, but usually people like to stick with their team. So we thought this season, by the way, did you guys like that there was no teams this season?
Yes.
I would have liked it better if there were no wagons, because those were basically teams.
I mean, but what's weird to me is that y'all didn't use the wagon chats. No one spoke in their wagon chats the first 3 days.
They wouldn't talk.
It was
there.
Well, my
Last
wagon
season-
was shit. Me and Layla's wagons were shit. We were like, I'm trying to jump ship from this wagon as soon as possible.
Well, yeah, you guys were kind of just team leftovers a little bit. It was kind of just all the late people, and like, I'm not gonna lie, it's just all the last minute people, and then Kimberly the porn star, and then like, who is my favorite from this season still. I'm so mad that she didn't end up playing. Like, I'm so bitter about it, because during casting, Isaiah brought her up as like a joke, and I was like, no, actually try to get her. And then the fact that she responded like a month later, right before casting, I was like, is she actually gonna play? Like, I was losing my mind. But
And who was that? I didn't catch the name.
Kimberly, Moon Formation, Kimberly. I was very sad that she didn't end up playing. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, last season, the wagons strategized. Like, people found their targets. There was fights. There was alliances made. This was all during the wagons. You guys didn't do any strategizing at all during the 3-4 day period before the game started. So back to the perception is reality. I guess we really are going on the perception thing. If Shannon didn't reveal that the wagon was working together, do you guys think that this divide would have happened?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, because like,
What's that?
What's your question, Gloria?
When I did the oh Lord, I can't even think of what it's called. The bounty thing on Elliot. I'd like to hear from several people behind the scenes when that happened, how every individual felt.
I thought it was weird.
I thought it was
funny.
Well, it's funny that like Glow speaks, because I don't know if I hate giving Glow so much credit, but another thing with the wagons, like with Glow, night 1, she just made it a big deal. She was like, "Well, everybody in this wagon, is this alliance?" And like like the first conversation, it was like, "Is this wagon an alliance? Are you working together?" So, and plus, like, I guess night 1, it was kind of like, I don't know, I wasn't the only one who had this thought, because like, I guess just seeing how people interacted with each other, and you can kind of like really feel that the Watusi, Gucci, whatever that wagon name, you can kind of see that they're like really meshing well together, like, because you know they have inside jokes already, and we haven't even met each other, so it's kind of like, I think it was still gonna go that route regardless.
It was because no one on that wagon was trying to work with anyone that wasn't on that wagon except for Shannon. Except for Shannon, you didn't let me finish. Except for Shannon. Shannon was the only one that was willing to branch out. Everyone else was so comfortable that they just were gonna stick with where they were comfortable. And then you have Rafi, who worked his way in with everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so like at the end of the day, it was going to be the way it ended up, no matter what.
And
My
you have
big
to give
plan-
credit to Rafi and Layla because those two were up shit without a creek in their wagon, and they both got themselves in. But keep going, Rafi.
My big plan was to take out Rowan and basically replace Rowan in that wagon. I was like, I'm going to replace her. This is my moment. I want to work with that wagon. How dare she?
I have to ask you, Rafi, was your decision to try and work with the Wagon Wheel Watusi, was it a strategic decision or a personal decision?
Oh, 100% personal. I was vibing very well with Alex, and I was like, I want to work with Alex. So I was like, if he's working with that alliance, I'm working with that alliance. But
Because you wanted to work with Keisha and her group.
Yeah, here's the thing. I wanted to work with everyone in this game. That's the thing. I couldn't. I wanted to work with Keisha. I wanted to work with Darian. I wanted to work with Chantel. I wanted to work with everyone in this game. And I managed to do that at some point, and then it all like obviously fell on top of me because you can't work with everyone. But yeah, I don't know. Working with that wagon, that specific decision is like because I was like basically Alex is my ride or die. So I'm like, let me work with that wagon as well because he's working with it. But in my head, that didn't stop me from working with everyone else. Like, unlike what they were doing, I wanted to talk with everyone else. But then it came to a point. Here's the thing. This is the point where that stopped. Was when after Elliot's vote out, all that business basically is where that stopped. Because at that point, I felt like I had to choose a side almost, and I chose wrong, obviously. But like I had to choose a side. So unlike Josh or Gloria, who played the middle very well, I was like, I can't play the middle. I'm not good at it. I need to choose a side. So I chose Alex's side, and hey, it got me pretty far. But
I think everyone in the final four played the middle. I think all four of you did.
Yeah, and that's where at that point where I had burned the bridges with basically everyone on the other side, I think, with like Darian, Keisha, and Chantel, the big three.
I wanted to turn the conversation to Alex because Alex, you and Rafi seemingly had a very tight relationship, but you were not exactly the biggest fan of Rafi's terms of affection, I guess.
Oh my God.
You expressed in your exit interview that Rafi would not get your vote. Or at least at the time you expressed that he would not get your vote because you felt like he sunk your game by being so open about wanting to work with you and being as close to you. So what are your feelings about Rafi?
Oh my God, no, don't put him on. Okay.
Not him glagging right as I ask him this question. I'm dead.
Well, while he's froze, I would like to say, like, Rafi, I think that's the one thing that made it really hard to, like, truly work with you, because I think that's one kind of, it's not a downfall because you made a fall. You got a final two. You got a farther than me, so I wouldn't say downfall. But, like, it was just very publicly known. That's the question I really wanted to ask you, but, like, you froze out during the thing. It was, like, it was very public that you and Alex was, like this. So it was kind of like, we had conversation where, like, we was like, oh, like, we know Rafi's trying to play the middle, but like his connection with Alex is what's put him to that side. So it was kind of like hard to fully like.
Well,
and that's why like every time I talk to you, like especially before forming that alliance with Keisha, I just knew that the way to you was to talk up Alex. So I was like, okay, well, even though like at that point I didn't want to work with Alex, but I was like, yeah, like I want to work with Alex because I knew that probably would have gotten you like, okay, well, maybe we can like get something going.
Well,
I actually felt like you and Gloria were very similar, Rafi. I know you may not like to hear that, but I thought you two were very similar. But
what do
keep
you
going.
mean?
I felt like
for that thing, let me just answer Darian's thing. For that thing, Darian, I think that so usually typically, I do typically do have a ride or die, but I don't make it probably as known. I typically just keep that secret. But in this game, I was like, because I mentioned this in my finale speech where I'm like, I want to play super loyal this game. So that's what I did. I just played super loyal to Alex, I guess. But like, normally I wouldn't do that. And I just wanted to change my gameplay a little bit. All right. Alex is back, I think.
Are you with us, Alex? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. So back to my question. So how much of my question did you hear?
You said that at my exit interview, I said something about Rafi.
Yes. So in your exit, so during the game, Rafi had a lot of terms of affection for you, flirting with you on the calls, talking about how much he loves you, having you shirtless in the lip sync video. And but then it seemed that you left on a sour patch with Rafi during the breakout room. You said, Rafi, shut up. And then once you got eliminated, which was like no shade, Rafi, I thought that that was really funny. But but in your exit interview, you said that you felt like Rafi tanked your game, and you actually were mad at him for like ruining your game. And I actually didn't expect you to end up voting for him because you felt that he played bad. So what are your real feelings about Rafi?
Man, I don't hate Rafi. Was I upset at him at the time? A little, because it had been made obvious that me and him were close in the game. It got to the point where I wanted to, if there was a choice that I could cut him, I would do it just to show people like, hey, you know what? I play my own game, and like me and Rafi don't have a final two. Because like who would want to work with us if they know that we're gonna pick each other over any other person? But I don't hate Rafi. I voted for him because I knew everybody else was gonna vote for Chantel, so I wanted to give him like a little extra something. But yeah, it was frustrating to like have someone be so obvious on the main call and be like, "Oh, Alex, like how are you? How are you doing today? Like, oh my God, Alex, you're so cute." Because like I was like, "Oh my God, Rafi, shut up!" Like, like everyone's gonna think that like we're fucking dating, but it is what it is.
Is there a potential
never
for
felt like
is there a potential for an
I'm
Alfie
shutting that down. We're
showmance?
not addressing this question.
Is there a potential for an Alfie showmance once the game is over?
I don't think my boyfriend would appreciate that. So
Okay, well, I guess that's a no.
Speaking of boyfriends, there's another player who was hiding that.
Oh. And what are you referring to, Darian?
Someone may have been a little flirting a little bit as a strategy, even though they had a boyfriend, but I let that person tell it.
Who are you referring to? Are you referring to Yoshi?
Oh. Okay. Well, okay. Yes. I did, but it was all his idea. So he was like, he pretty much was like, you need to win this game. Do anything to win this game. So he was like coaching me through it, and I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, that was a hard strategy, but once the game was over, I knew I was gonna be like, hey, like cat's out of the bag. But you gotta do anything to win when you're playing. You know what I mean? I wanted that prize pot, baby. So yeah.
So who did you have a crush on in the game, Yoshi?
I didn't have a crush, but when it dwindled down, I really did try to zero in on Josh. But yeah, it played out.
You definitely flirted with me once, Yoshi. I definitely remember
no,
that.
don't get me wrong. In the beginning, I was like, all guys on the chart, everybody's available. I don't care. But then when I seen the Rafi and Alex thing, I was like, oh, okay, swipe that to the left. I don't know. Daniel's more like a family member, but then Josh, I was just, I don't know. I just went after Josh. Hey, Josh.
So Josh, how do you feel now hearing this realization that there is no possibility of a Yash feature?
Well, I never considered that. Like, I never saw it as flirting. I just thought it was just like two gay black men like being friends. Like, I thought, like I literally consider like Yoshi like one of my like favorite people in the game. It's like, well, it's like you said, when all the whole time he's saying, "Oh, I have love for Chantel, I have love for Keisha, a little bit for love for Josh." Like, in the words of fucking Cheryl, what am I, chopped liver?
No, you're not. But what I mean is that the love when I say like I have love for Keisha or Chantel, it's because from the beginning to the end, regardless what they had with any other people, what gameplay they had, I feel like in my head, I knew what where they were at. With you, I never knew. Like I liked all our
Partly because like y'all kind of like jumping from the start. Y'all said you even said it yourselves from the jump, you didn't know if you could trust me. And like for that, the whole reason I didn't commit because I always felt like I was on the bottom. And y'all proved that I was right. That's why I never committed to the Spades Club. Well, I always leaning that side in the game? Yes, I was. I was always leaning toward the Spades Club. But the reason I couldn't give y'all 100% because I felt like if shit went left, y'all would have left me over there on the right.
But you were a part, not only that you were part of the first wagon, you didn't even tell us about it. So
the whole time I told y'all that like, yeah, we just have an agreement that we're not going to go after each other, but it's not like a hardcore alliance. I told y'all this.
But you didn't say that until Elliot left.
I told you before that.
No, you didn't. You didn't start spilling tea until after Elliot left the game, and that's the issue we had with you. It wasn't that you were all like necessarily on the bottom. We wanted to bring you up, but you weren't doing anything.
And you wouldn't have been at the bottom because listen, Dylan can. So can Yoshi. I love Darian to death, but I didn't want Darian to be in the end because I was like, he's gonna win. Mm-hmm. If you would have given us 100, you would have had equal footing with all of us. It's just we never had the opportunity to give you equal footing because you would never completely put your foot in the water. You gave us a pinky toe.
Oh, and you not voting with us was another thing.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against you, Josh. It's just the fact of like we couldn't get you to commit, which why would we give somebody 100% of us if they won't even give us 0.5% of them?
But I will say, Josh, like for your game, this is not like saying you made a bet because I mean I don't think you did because like for your game it makes sense because you already had this agreement with this set of people, then you got put into another agreement, so it made perfect sense because I even was saying that like when it came down to Shannon going home because like I never asked you for your choice. I told them I'm like that's smart for Josh game getting Shannon out, so like Josh still has his his side, so for the position that you was in it made the most sense for you to be like okay you can go between because if our lines blew up you didn't want to completely sink ship with the rest of them because you can easily go there and if the same vice versa.
Right, because my whole thing was that after I once formed the Space Club, I was like, okay, I have this unique opportunity to be in the middle and like be protected from like all sides. And at this point, I was like, dang, I already have commitments because I did actually have an alliance with Elliot and Alex. And I didn't want to like betray that because I do value loyalty in these games. That's why I ended up, it was a bad decision. That's why I took Raffi and Chantel to Final 3 because those are the two people that I promised Final 2s with. So yeah, it was a stupid decision, but that's the decision that I made based on my loyalty and how I felt. What, Raffi?
Nothing.
I have a question for you, Josh.
Yes, Gloria?
I may not remember this right. Did you not one time feel like Chantel needed to go further back in the game several times?
Oh no, I definitely felt that. Like it was like I said, it was especially because like before this, I was like, this is my girl because I wanted to like go and like throw Paymaster to her because like I said, after Circle Night, when my wagon that's supposed to be working together, like they left me out to the wolves, like I felt some type of way about that. I was like, okay, I was ready to fully jump ship and be on board with that. But there was just something about like, because I felt cool with Yoshi, I felt cool with Chantel. I knew I wasn't really going to be particularly close with Layla because I tried talking to her a few times and she left me on red. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to accept her where she at. I can admit I didn't put that much effort into like building a bond with Keisha. That's on me. But I was like, actually like Darian. If I was like, I was trying to get in good with Darian. We never called much, but I felt like if we could like, if I could feel cool with him, then at least like, because all I can think is my fear was that I was on the bottom the whole time. It's just like, if I go and jump ship, I'm on the bottom and then I burn all these people over here. So if they get power and then they could go and throw me to the wolves if they have to sacrifice someone and I would have been easy pickings. That was my.
I felt like.
Go ahead. Go.
I wasn't upset, believe it or not, because I was real happy to make Final Four. But I thought your gameplay had got kind of like, us both actually kind of where we had to play to get where we were in the middle, sort of. I felt like with what you knew about everybody or a majority feeling that Chantel was going to win this game, I threw like, not because I wanted, naturally we all want to go to final two.
Right.
But I felt like you had the strongest moment in the game to have won this game and didn't make the big move to take her out is what killed your game.
And I have to ask you, Josh, because last season we saw Aaron take out Taisha, which was very hard for her because Taisha was like her closest ally. She was there for her when that whole Circle Night shenanigans happened. And she cut Taisha, and that move was what won her the game. If she didn't cut Taisha, Taisha likely makes final two over Aaron. And even if Aaron does make final two, they probably don't give her the win. So with you talking about your gameplay, how you were, you were playing the middle, because you felt like no side had your back, and you were focused on numero uno. Why did you choose in the 9th inning to stay loyal to Chantel?
Well, like I said, because y'all don't really know too much about my org histories, that I've always been like, Rafi knows a little bit, I'm always something that gets screwed over by twists. And I feel like every time I play games, I'm like in a position where like the people that I'm loyal to, like that's my ride or die, they always have other priorities. And for me, like me, I always get screwed over by twists, and like I always don't usually make it that far. So like when I won Final Four Paymaster, I got really emotional, and I was like trying to contain it because I was like trying to think like, oh, I got to make this decision. But I'm just like in this moment, it was like I was going back and forth between my head and my heart. It was like I know, like the whole time, like it was never a case of like I thought I underestimated Chantel. I never once underestimated Chantel. I knew exactly the caliber of player she was. I know exactly that like she has strong win equity. But for me in that moment, I'm just like, look, I always play based on loyalty. And like I truly haven't played exactly a loyal game, but then again, I never really promised anyone that much. But I promised Chantel and I promised Rafi. So that's why I went with it.
And what Rafi doesn't know.
I think you might have had a chance to win this game.
No, I believe so because I know like the next day I was thinking, Josh, you're so fucking stupid. You should have cut Chantel. Because I knew that like if the events play out the same, I cut Chantel as you, me, and Rafi in the final three. You most likely don't show up to finale because you're sick. It's me and Rafi in final two. And then I feel like with the speech and the stuff I had up my sleeve and had prepared, I think I could have beat Rafi.
Let's say that it's a Josh and Rafi final two. Raise your hand if you vote for Josh.
First of all, I want to say if Josh would have cut me, I would have dragged his ass. I would have dragged you.
So my jury members, raise your hand if it's a Rafi Josh final two. Raise your hand if you vote for Josh. We have 4 votes. We have 5 votes. All right, so it looks like and we have Layla's vote. So that means that Josh, you would have won. No. But again, we don't know. Gloria may have shown up if she like was in the final 3 and knew exactly what they were doing it. So we don't know. To me, I understood why you kept Chantel because I felt that was a move that went beyond the game. That was a personal decision, especially with your history when you were in a Black Alliance, an all Black Alliance the previous time, and you said it didn't work out for you. So this was you getting your redemption with this whole situation. And I feel like it healed that wounds a little bit, if I'm not wrong or not mistaken.
Right.
So,
and I also felt like even I did make it a final 2 with Chantel, I was like, dang, because I know because I had a perfect analogy set up. It's like she played a Titanic of a game, but baby, I was the iceberg. I did so much shit underneath the surface. I wasn't even ready. I had stuff on my resume. Please believe me, I wanted to go and go toe to toe with her. I was like, look, I made this decision. I got to lie with it. It was like, if I get the final 2, I really think I could have a fighting chance.
I think that Chantal may have had the edge, but I think you would have given her a run for her money for sure.
Yeah, because at least it's like,
I feel like and I told Dylan, I'm like, if me and Josh are in final 2, make sure Josh goes first because I'm going to be rebuttaling every single thing that he says.
It would have been a battle.
I was so excited. I'm like, the mission's going to be completed. And then,
I think your mistake was not taking out Rafi. And the reason was I knew that Rafi was going to be strong when it came to the mental competitions and I knew that he knew what he was doing with the physical competitions. And what Rafi doesn't know, you were going to take him out. You were in that 5-minute one-on-one with Chantel, and then after she left, you were talking it out, and you were like, man, I don't want to do it, but I gotta send Rafi home because he is the biggest threat to win that final 3 comp. We can beat Gloria. And then something changed, and you were like, I can't do it, and you cut Gloria. What clicked in your head to send Gloria home? And do you regret that decision?
Well, ultimately, like, I live life with no regrets. I know that my decision cost me the game, and I just have to live with it. I played all my shoulda, coulda, wouldas. But what clicked is just that, like, I don't know, like I said, like, loyalty means a lot to me in these games. Even despite the fact that being loyal to people that don't, I'm not their number one, like they're my number one, has screwed me over in the past. It's just like, I guess it's just slightly the pitfall I keep falling back into. And just in that moment, I was like, I gotta cut Rafi. Fuck, I can't cut Rafi. It's like I made promises to him. I made promises to Chantel. I didn't make any promises to Glenn.
Hey, Josh, I just want to say, I know you say that being loyal to people has never gotten you anywhere in these games, but keep playing loyal because one of these times you're going to get to the end and you're going to win. Keep playing loyal because every game I've won, it's by being loyal.
Yeah, I'm on an upward trajectory, so I'm hoping that, like, last game was Final Four, just be my record. Now I'm in Final 3, my new highest record. Like,
I was so excited for you. Seriously, like in the chat, I was like, I am so happy. Like, I was just so happy this is the farthest that you had gotten this far. You hadn't gotten that far before. I was so excited for you. So I was pulling for Chantel, but I was pulling for you also. So,
like, I think if I hadn't been so emotional in that moment, if like I didn't have such a bad org past history, like I probably would have cut Chantel. Because in my head, I'm always like, I'm gonna be loyal and then cut someone at the end, but I didn't do that because I was so overly emotional. But you know, it is what it is. I can't help what I feel.
I will say a loyal game does go far in this series. Most of the winners, I would say Chantel is one of the, I would say Sharonica and Chantel are like the only people that have won this game playing disloyal. And I wouldn't even say Chantel is overly disloyal, even though I think Chantel would have cut anyone to get to the end. But we're gonna get to that. But I mean, if you look at Nika is the only player in the history of this game to make it to the final 2 twice. And she played a game based off of loyalty. But I do want to turn to Chantel. Chantel, it was wild watching you play this game because you made so many deals and so many promises, and somehow, some way, everybody, or mostly everybody, felt good with you. And you had a rough start because you were kind of playing from the back, not being there the first night. So can you walk us through your game this season and how you were able to keep up all these relationships and make people feel good with you? Can you hear us? Chantel?
I don't think she knows you after a question.
Wait, hello? You were talking to me this whole time?
Yes, I was just hyping you up.
I was talking to my roommate.
Oh, I'm dead. I was saying to you that it is very rare to see someone like you play. You were able to keep pretty much everyone feeling good with you, to the point where Keisha was supposed to get that immunity, but you got people to flip and give it to you. You had everyone in the palm of your hand, and you did start this game off that smart. Not that smart. You started off from the back because you were not there the first night. How were you able to keep up all those relationships and keep people feeling like they could trust you?
Honestly, I was worried that people were gonna be like onto me being like friendly with everybody and like just trying to like be good with everyone type thing. So it was hard to keep up everything and like I have to talk to everyone on a regular basis, because with these games it can be super demanding, and if you don't talk to someone for one day, it's like the end of the world in the org community sometimes. So with everyone, since everyone had like pretty chill personalities, I felt like it was easier. And also, you know that I'm into Zodiac, so I use that to my advantage with getting to know people and like a way to talk to them on their level and like gain understanding in that sense.
Oh
I just
yeah.
try to be everyone's friend, to be honest. Like, and genuinely, this game was really hard for me because I built so many relationships with people that it's like I didn't know which direction to go in. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know. 1 minute it was this person, next one is this person. I'm like, fuck. It's like I fucked myself over in a way. But I mean, I'm grateful that I met all these beautiful people because I feel like I'm gonna have friendships for like eternity.
Raise your hand if you had an active deal with Chantel at any point in the game.
As in like alliance?
Just a deal, whether it was like safety or any of that stuff, like keep each other safe.
I think, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I see 2 raised hands for people not on camera. I would agree with that. I would say pretty much everyone except for I would say Alex, and I would say Shannon. You two did have a kind of a deal to protect each other. So I would say kind of Alex and Elliot are like the only people that really had no real deals with Chantel. But Chantel was smart because she
Deals
knew
with them, but they just kind of like left me for dead.
But the day that Alex had the power, she did try.
I'd like no. The thing is, that I didn't have like an active deal with a lot of people. I'd like to talk to Chantel, and the way that Chantel speaks to like in the chat, I was like, oh my gosh, she actually like cares about what I'm saying. So that's that. So I will give it to her. Like she actually made me feel like interested. Like she was interested in my conversation and like my personal life and stuff. And like I enjoyed talking to her, which is a big reason why I didn't throw her in the bottom with the thing.
When the day we found out that you got to the power, I went to work on you because I was freaking out in my head. I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna use it against me. What's gonna happen? Darius probably right. He's gonna use it on this double.
I was oblivious to it, and I was just here thinking like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. Like I love her, but bitch, you did that shit on purpose.
Chantel, out of the final 4, who do you want to go to the final 2 with?
Okay, I would have took Josh because like we had like a bond on like what was it, day 3, day 4 when we made the space chat that this was the mission. But if Josh didn't wait, final 2, I don't get to take anybody.
She would have taken you to final 3 if that's what you're asking.
Final 3? It would have been me, Josh, and Keisha, but that wasn't the case. I would have took Gloria.
Yeah, so what she said to you was for real.
One other thing.
Yes.
You make me feel good when you call me G. What do you mean by that compliment?
You're a G, like you're a gangster. Like you just say what it is and like you just balls to the wall Gloria. Like you're a G.
Thank you.
What were you gonna say, Josh?
I have one thing that when I went back and watched the reunion, the jury roundtable, that I needed to discuss because it really burned my britches. Keisha. I love the fact that you said that I played the middle of the whole game, but I had no moves. I made no big moves, but forgot the fact that I made a move to take you out.
You did.
Because I bought that double vote because like you know what happened that night. You had you didn't understand the assignment and you folded. You should have stayed on the last one because if you would have done that, we would have made final 5. Chantel would have won final 4, and then I guess you and me could have duked it out at final 4 for that damn Jeopardy game.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, damn, is she mad or is she upset? Like, what the fuck?
And
I was all of the above. I was all of the above.
I was like, damn, I get not liking my game, but at least give a brother some credit. Like every time they went to ask about the categories, I was like, Yoshi specifically said when it came to social game, it was like, I agree with Chantel and Rafi, and that's all. I was like, bitch.
HBICs were not a fan of No Chill Josh.
Yeah, because at that point, like I only knew what I seen, and what I seen was you didn't want to say a name and you were stuck in the middle. So that's why I felt.
Fuck. Let me just go back to something. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to take you back to the very beginning of this game. Night one. Everyone else said two of the three people that were not there. No Chill Josh, was the only person who had the balls to say someone who was there.
But it was Cheryl.
I know it was Cheryl, but damn it.
And it was the beginning of the game. Like, that doesn't really count.
But still, I tried to steer us away from this direction of just doing the easy thing. When I won Paymaster, I know the people, besides the people like Alex and Elliot, who knew and Shannon, who knew I was going to take out Sunshine.
Oh.
I know y'all probably expect me to take out either Bola or Glow. I took out Sunshine. I wanted us to steer out of this direction. I was trying to will it into existence. And every time I say that the game's going to get real, I think we're going to start making tougher decisions. I think it's going to get like harder. That shit didn't happen because I wanted to play a bold ass game, but I didn't want to be the only bold one out there. When I saw that no one else was matching my energy out there, I said, let me fall all the way back.
Don't get me wrong. I think you did play the game. It's just before you told me your game, I only seen what was on the lives or whatever. So that's why I answered the way that I answered. But I know that you played the game, Josh. I know.
Yeah, because I didn't play the game for the live stream. I played my game on Skype.
Behind the scenes, when I came in, I was so mad at Dylan for pre-marrying me. But we'll get off of that because it put me through hell all the time. I said after a few rounds, I was playing round by round by round, and then it pretty much got to be exactly that for me. I said to in confessionals, and I would be laughing all the time, well, thanks for giving me a lot of players that are spineless that are afraid to take out the big ones, sooner in the game.
And Gloria, that's the problem with perception and reality. Like, Gloria, you honestly believed that there was no 3-person chats going on. Like, you said in your thing that you felt that there were a lot of them. It's just they were very well hidden. And I called this season the Cold War of I Love Money because everyone knew where everyone stood and you all had your nukes ready and pointed at each other, but you guys didn't fire them out of fear that the other side was going to fire their nukes. And then people just kept getting taken out and casualties kept on happening. And then towards the end, Rowan out of nowhere goes on a comp streak and starts knocking out the big players.
What an icon.
Yes. And I wish she was here because props to her. That was wild. She won 3 in a row. And props to our other comp beasts, Layla and Chantel. And I'm going to even include Rafi in that one. Rafi, who won a really hard challenge, the final challenge, while in a different country and with failing Wi-Fi. Like,
I had I don't know if you saw, but I also had an audience. I had an audience of little Mexican kids watching me, being like, what the fuck is he doing? I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to concern myself. Here's the thing. I feel like I would have been a comp beast. I feel like I got so close in a lot of those challenges. I got very close. You got like second or third in a lot of them.
And by the way, Darian, Yoshi, Alex, y'all was right. I was throwing a bunch of comps.
Okay.
I threw that captain's challenge to Rafi. I threw the lipstick battle to Chantel. Yeah.
I just want to say real quick.
Chantel, to be fair.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I was not giving him that.
And when I started this game, I said that lipstick is not gonna be my strong suit. And what I do, I fucking killed that shit. I made my skirt. I came with my confetti.
I threw that. I should have known that fucking Dylan was gonna make me reveal it was Elliot because I didn't want to get the blood on my hands.
I thought that was really funny.
No, but I told you, if you don't want to take the hit and take out that side, I will do it for you.
That's why I threw it. That's why.
No,
I see Keisha stewing there.
And then you changed your mind 1,500 times that you didn't want to give it to me. And then Dylan said, oh, you're going to have to compete for this. That's when I'm like, I'm going to pull out all the stops now because I need to make sure I win.
But look, like I said, I was giving 100%. Like, you still possibly could beat me.
I got to point this to Keisha because I saw Keisha get triggered by the words lip sync. So during the lip sync week, you guys had to compete in teams, and there was some drama regarding the editing. She wanna blame it on the edit. Blame it on the edit. So Keisha, can you express what problems you had with your
God.
team's lip sync video?
Okay, Rafi,
Hello.
I want you to be 100%. Do you really believe that that editing was equal and fair for you to like
So was it
showcase
equal and
everybody?
fair? Was it equal and fair? No, not really.
Okay, because you said that was the point. You said that, oh, that was the point. I'm just gonna
My
tell you,
thing was
hold on. That lip sync showed who you were working with so blatantly obvious that it was not even funny. It was ridiculously laughable because Elliot was at his homie's party and you put him in more than you put in almost anyone else. We did a count of how many times.
fair,
We did a full-on tally.
well, to be fair, it was like I finished that at like 2 a.m. I was over it at that point.
Okay, but you over it or not, you literally you put Alex. There was times where Alex was in the same shot with himself.
Because here's the thing with the you know what? I don't even care.
Did you favor the video, Rafi? Yes or no?
Not explicitly, implicitly. That's your business to decide.
So yes.
It got me thrown. It got me
Keisha
thrown
and
in.
I did the best job out of everyone.
It got me thrown in at the bottom because they barely saw me in the video because you cut out parts where you could have used my stuff, but you didn't. You put in Alex and then you put in Elliot and then you put in Alex and then you cut out Glow, all of her dancing all together. It was just so blatantly obvious that it was all about the three of you.
Well, Keisha, at least that's why he ended up in the bottom and you didn't.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't think Rafi did it on purpose, just because in the alliance chats, there was no discussion. And like I've said, we've had people sabotage it before. So it wasn't done on purpose. I feel like Rafi may have just done it by accident. That's what I feel. Like it may not have been on purpose.
I feel like Rafi was
Here's the thing.
infatuated with Alex.
Here's the thing.
Put him.
I agree, Chantel. I agree.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
I'm just saying the reason I think Elliot's in it so much is because I had done the whole video at this point, like at least most of the video, and I just needed Elliot's parts. So like the whole video was done, and I needed to put Elliot in places so that he wasn't like missing for the video because that was my concern because I finished the whole video. So that's why he's in it a lot more than I guess he should have been, because I put him in places because he needs to be in it somewhere. So when I went back to put him in places after I finished the whole thing, I sort of like overdid it a bit.
I see that. There was one part that I really wish you cut out.
You can claim whatever, but that's why Elliot's in it so much, I think, because I had done the whole thing at that point.
There was one part where Elliot did this wink, and like when I saw it in his video that he sent to the chat, I was dying of laughter. But there was a part where he was like, underneath the tree. And I thought that was so shady that you threw that into the video. I was like, how did you? I was like, there was no way you thought that that was a good edit. Was that on purpose or was that an accident?
I think it was funny. I thought it was very funny.
It was funny, but I was like, he really went with that shot.
It was laughable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I was a bit Santa Claus.
Santa Glow, absolutely.
I'm glad to get that off my chest, Rafi, because me and Chantel were going hamburger. And they were mad.
I asked you guys.
But you know what? But at that point, it was like we were like, why say anything? Like, F it. We're not gonna say nothing. For what? You're not gonna go back and say.
I would have gone back. Here's the thing. I would have gone back.
Loved it. Then Elliot comes in and says that he loves it, and so it's like we come in.
I would have gone back. Is the thing, because I have a whole
like
next day.
Like we would have been the bitter bitches of the
Yeah.
fucking group.
Right.
No, because, whatever. I don't care. Yeah.
I like it.
So
Of course you did.
I didn't, and I hope I never see ours ever again.
What child? Ours was like, okay.
You cried with
Yeah, well,
Josh's.
it just that was just like way outside my comfort zone.
Had like an
altogether.
AR camera, like New York behind him, and then it was like Rwan just in one position dancing.
Well, to be fair, that's all she gave us. That's
I know.
It was cute though.
I did the best of what I had. Like,
No, you killed it. You choreographed that shit.
I liked that choreography more than
Oh my god.
it was giving very high school cheerleader performance, but I kind of live for it watching it back. Not gonna lie, I've never seen anyone do choreography for the lip sync video, so I will give it credit to you, Rafi Lee Miller. I will give you credit for that.
Yeah, thank you for giving me some credit. Like,
So I think one of the closing things I want to ask you guys about is the Coco coins. So the Coco coins came back into play. We did them 1 year ago. Actually, it's coming on 2 years when we did Treasure Island at the start of the coronavirus pandemic. And it completely changed the game. Gloria, from the way that you played it, where there was no money. Now this time you had to earn coins, doing different challenges to buy powers in the game. How was it playing this game with the currency in play? And anyone can jump in.
It was fun, but it was hard. Like you needed coins badly to have some sort of power. So I feel like the Coco coins kind of drove all of us crazy, especially when you need like 30 coins to buy a fucking power. That's insanity.
You're welcome, Chantal.
No, because it was.
I didn't think like the actual giving away of coins was like a problem. It was that these items were so pricey. Like I'm like, how is anyone like you are forced to really ask people for their coins. You gotta really be like,
yeah, work for
you need to come with me to this shop because I can't buy anything.
But to be fair,
because I had to do the same thing when I found out that damn sheriff's badge. After lip sync night, I pulled in Chantel, I pulled in Yoshi. I made an alliance called the Bank. Look,
no, what was
we all got stacked up on coins tonight. Let's go together and buy it. But
what
then,
was?
they were like, oh, let me get coins. I said, okay, let's bring the rest of the Space Club.
He didn't have enough.
well, to be fair,
go ahead,
Darian, go ahead.
Okay, to be fair, Josh, it was like it's funny because like that whole conversation when you was telling us about the bank, like I knew everything, but I just kind of had the X surprise. I'm like, oh, is this power? And it's like me and Chantel just spent all our coins getting 2 powers. So I didn't lie to you. Like I really did have like 2 coins. I was like, you can have my 2 coins, but everybody else was like, eh. I was like, well, you can take the 2 coins and we see what we can do with it.
I think what was really shady, Dylan, was when me and Alex had finally gotten a break and we were like, okay, we have enough coins to buy the sheriff badge, and then you raised the price, and then we were like, fuck, now we gotta do more shit.
I had to raise it because I just added a bunch of fucking money with the lip sync. We handed like 40 coins that night.
You guys should have come knocking on my door, Raffy, instead of Glow. I had more at that point.
That was so wild when you guys had to. Why did you guys pick Gloria of all people?
Because
I don't know.
For me, it was like we thought she had coins, and also like we needed her as a number as well in our upcoming vote. So we like, well, this can hit 2 birds with 1 stone, really.
It wasn't any reason. If Glow would have said no, we would have gone to Cheryl.
And Cheryl, true.
I would have
And
given you 1 coin, you know.
Oh.
No, I probably would have given you about half of what I had and sat on the rest to put on your head for later, Raffy.
Exactly.
Before we asked for Glow's coins, Josh pulls me in a call and is like, hey, Alex, do you want to pull in coins to get the sheriff's badge? And I was thinking about it, but then he's like, oh, yeah, but I'll keep the badge. And I was like, no, I'm the one in danger. I need that shit.
Well, here's about that, Alex. 1, because this was after I failed with the Space Club. 2, it was like I said, in my position in the game, I felt like I was on the bottom. And for me, I realized back to the Drake roundtable, the other question, like Josh had all these coins and didn't do anything with them. My coins were my insurance policy if I ever ended up at the bottom. That's why I quickly and quietly stacked up on a lot of coins throughout this game. Like Dylan can attest that at some point I was like the richest person in the game.
Josh and Chantel consistently had over 25 coins the entire game. And Josh was a little more honest about his coin count. Chantal was telling people she had like 4 coins, but meanwhile she had like 30. It was insane.
No, I did not have 30. That's a lie. I had 20.
Close.
I remember.
Like I'm like, because it was funny because like when we went back to the HB like IC chat, like she used to lie about the coins, but she was like, "Do not tell anybody where I got these coins from." It was like, because she was like, "Oh, I have like 2 coins." I was like, "She do not have 2 coins."
She got like 1 million. It was crazy.
But yeah, when it came to like when I found out about the sheriff's badge, when I went to the canteen myself, I was like, okay, this could be a manifestation of like my insurance policy, because there wasn't that many bounties getting placed out there. There wasn't any more like kind of sunshine situation. I know Rafi got stacked up on coins. I played a part in that. But like he was getting stacked up on coins, but no one's really taking the bait there. So I was like, okay, I don't really think bounties are like really that effective at this point. So like I was like thinking like, okay, if I get the sheriff's badge, someone like Alex, if you would have with me on that sheriff's badge, I would have solely picked your side. That would have been my insurance policy to pick a side.
Oh, now I regret it.
Exactly. Like same with the space stuff. If I get that sheriff's badge, this is just my insurance policy to make sure that I'm not on the bottom like I thought I was.
And I would have been for it, but when you, like I said, the whole both side thing sketched me out. So I was like, well, if you'll let me hold on to it, and you kind of just looked at me like, I'm not doing that. So,
well, because like I said, I wanted to be my insurance policy because, like I said, I felt like I was on the bottom, and I felt like, especially at that point, the further on we had gone, I felt like my position was kind of sinking even further. So, like I wanted to pick a side, especially after Circle Night. It's like I wanted to jump ship, but I just needed that reassurance for me.
Okay, but would you have used the sheriff's badge if I was in danger?
Absolutely, I would have. If you would have helped me, like I said, I'm a loyal player. If you would have scratched my back, I would have scratched yours. Absolutely, I would have used.
You didn't scratch Elliot's back.
Well, look, I was put in a very tough spot. We're like,
boy, you put yourself there, honey.
Don't tell Hush for a second.
No. You put yourself there.
Well, look, I would put myself in a tough fucking spot then. How about fucking that? But either way, no matter what I did, I was going to piss off somebody.
Well, Gloria, before you go tonight, to wrap things up with you, what are your final thoughts on this season?
Well, it's been an interesting game. Probably one of those where I threw up my hands behind the scenes with you more than ever chatting, calling everybody finalists on getting out the bigger targets. I've actually learned something from the game about my gameplay for a future game. A couple things you threw at me about, doing what I do in my diary room, putting out my feelings more. So I'm going to consider that where I was at the final 5 position. And but I'm going to continue to call chaos when I feel used.
As you should.
I'm going to continue to be a straight shooter to a certain point, and I always say to a certain point as much as possible. I'm going to be real. I'm going to tell it like it is because I don't give a shit. It's a game. And I told you when I go to Final 4, after all the years I've played with myself, I use it critiquing for the real games in real life. And that's when I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to be an entertainer. I'm going to cause shit. I'm going to say what I got to say. And I'm not going to give a damn because you're not going to be here tomorrow and pay my BEPCO bill or to make me not lose my home. And I'm going to attain 2 or 3 people that will be lifelong friends. I've got Shannon Sherrill. I respect Chantel, who put up with me calling her Chanel. And I'm always going to be unpredictable until I get the ones who have the backbone not to be spineless and know that I'm real deal and that I want to be the one on TV with the right people to buy for $1 million.
And then do you have anything to plug?
Yes, I do. There's a couple people that I would like to stay in contact. Not that I wouldn't stay in contact with all of you. Chantel, you got a big shot at being something more than what you are in the org game. Kanisha, you're on your way. You know how to read people. Cheryl, you're triumphant on things in life that I respect. Shannon, I will probably adore you for the rest of my life. I want you to be a long life friend. I want you to meet me in real life. I wish Chantel would come to Virginia and visit me in Shannon. And I think, as a matter of fact, me and Chantel and Shannon and probably Darian should get together for an idea with our minds. There's great brilliance that we could probably be millionaires on setting up our own reality show concept.
I love you, Glory. I'm always here for you no matter what.
Yeah, and I got a lot of shit going on we need to talk about, okay?
You got it.
Oh my God, girl. Oh my God.
Oh, well, I guess I Love Money has a competitor. But anyways, I just wanted to clue you in on that before you left. So the next part was the bounties. We've done the Coco coins before, but we haven't done the bounties. Oop, not my camera. Okay, I fixed it. So what did we think about the bounties and all the chaos that caused?
Yes. I loved it.
That was fun working with you, Josh, putting that bounty on Sunshine.
I feel like Dylan, if you do bounties again, you need to like just make them all anonymous anyways, because like you're not gonna put a bounty without making it anonymous. I feel like that's the fun of it. Like the anonymous bounty is the best part about it. So you might as well just make them all anonymous for free, because I feel like that's fun.
But then you don't get people doing it publicly. That's why I only made it 1 coin that you have to pay extra, because it's just a little bit of a tax you have to pay, but it's still but then it encourages people to do it for free. If you don't got any money and you just want to do it, then go for it.
I liked it. I wouldn't have liked it if I didn't see Sunshine's reaction coming back, and if I didn't see Elliot's reaction. It was pretty entertaining. So
actually, that's the reason why I did the bounty. Those reactions I wanted to people, because at first I was like, when I got that anonymous, at first I wanted to put on Alex because I kind of want to see like what Alex was going to do. I just live for it because like I wanted to be messy in the game, but I didn't want to say Darian is being messy, and I don't think anybody would have expected me to be like the one to put bounties. So that's I was like, I went at Raph because I kind of knew that he was already high in the game with Glow, so I was like, well, it's easy just to throw more, oil in the fire,
But not everyone could keep their bounties a secret. I wish CJ was here. CJ and Gloria put the first bounties and revealed that they were the ones that put the bounties. I wanted to ask why you chose to do that.
I was just gonna say that, like, you paid the extra coin just to tell on yourself.
I really just
say it again, Alex.
I wish that Glow didn't say that it was her, because then that would have been very interesting.
People didn't think it was her.
Yeah, we just have seen Elliot like kind of spiral.
Yeah, people
paranoia. That would have been fun.
Yeah, but I kind of like how he got all, with me one-on-one. I like how I broke him down from all that, like I've been suffering the whole game, broke Gloria up. And I just love seeing people break. I love seeing people get emotional and broken. And there I was, the one, being highlighted to be made fun of for my body, my age, ridiculousness. And I really didn't give a shit. Shannon will tell you when she told me it never broke me, that I just had respect that she told me. I could have given a shit. Oh, wow, you're not my lover. They might be big shots about who and what they're going to be in life. I didn't give a shit.
Glow, I gotta say, you and me sitting there planning that shit out was so much fun. I wish that you had gotten the wording better, because we were working on that wording for 45 minutes. We were trying to think of a way to word it that nobody would expect it was you. And when your wording came out, I was like, oh, fuck, Glow, what'd you do? And then you put that, because our original plan wasn't you putting out that, what you said, and then also putting the bounty on his head. But the original plan was she was going to say something, and then put a bounty. And we were gonna like make it look like maybe Rawan had put, like, we just had this all planned out, and then Glow just kind of did whatever, and I was like, fuck no, what'd you do? And then you told them, and I was like, no, you should let him spin out of control. But that was fun to be
They
a part
did
of.
spin out of control and then tried to take credit like they figured it out to make me not be the person I am that owns what she does. And I just got with a whole screw up that I didn't give a shit.
I felt like this season was kind of like a B movie. You know how some B movies are so bad they're good? I felt like a lot of the strategy this season was so bad it was good, and it just things ended up working out, and I thought it was fantastic.
My point of view was to know something that might break people down. You know, their self-esteem, people making fun of them about whatever thing it is about their self. My point was things like that aren't going to break me, y'all. What's wrong with y'all? I'm 70 years old. I got 3 times more stories of hell on the streets and the ghettos, guns between my eyes, mobsters, talk shows, than worrying about you don't like my body. I'm a little old lady. She don't make no sense. I don't like her. She don't do this. She don't do that. Well, y'all go up there 8 times and y'all won't give a shit. And then all I did was laugh. I mean, I had an evil laugh like, I love like people are just hating me. Because I didn't give a shit.
Well, Elliot and Rawan, y'all just can't stand me, can you? Or Sarah.
Just like this, I didn't give a shit. I really, and then some of y'all I really cared about and wanted so much more. And I'd said, okay, well, maybe I'll go to more, or maybe I won't, but then, you know, be prepared because I'm ready to do something else that's
I
going to
want
set
to turn
everybody
the
off.
attention to 2 other people that had a lot of drama this season. My favorite fight, Cheryl and Raffi.
I knew it was coming.
This was the most random. I felt like there was a lot of fighting that went on this season behind the scenes. Like people didn't like each other, but they kept it to themselves. But you two, out of nowhere, were I feel like this was the real no chill. We're setting up the challenge, and then out of nowhere, you guys have this fight. Let's take a look.
Oh shit, Raffi.
No, let's take a look.
The one clip he does have.
Coins?
Well, evidently you didn't spend all of them, Raffi, if you were using 4, or, well, let me take that back. You stole 4 coins from Gloria when you, reeled your lights to her.
No! Coins got
No, come on.
Coins got stolen from me, Cheryl. And we didn't buy the sheriff's badge at that point. That was after. Why the fuck are you coming for me right now? I have done nothing to you.
Oh, done nothing to me? Mm-hmm. Just keep calling yourself that,
Cheryl,
princess.
talk your shit. I got coins stolen by Gloria, or not Gloria. Gloria, never mind. I got coins stolen from me because I had 9 coins initially. I got them stolen, so I had 5 coins. Then the auction happened, so I had 12 coins after that whole debacle. And that's when we bought the sheriff's badge. So I don't know where your timeline of things is occurring because you're delusional. But
I'm delusional. Okay, keep calling yourself that. Zip it, Zippy.
Oh, don't tell me to zip it. Because you're the one lying, trying to save your ass because you're in danger in this game. I don't care if I'm in danger.
I'm the one lying. I'm the one lying.
I am the one defending myself. You can continue going on.
I'm not defending myself. Take a back seat.
Bullshit.
I'm talking now.
No, you're not
Can
talking.
you oh, the hell I'm not. I'm sitting right here talking right the fuck now.
And there she goes.
Hold on, wait. It is, hold on.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, she can come back on if she wants. When she wants to talk to me appropriately.
So, Raffi, I just have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you know the rules when you kicked her off of the call when
I didn't know the
decided
rules.
to do that?
I did not know the rules. I didn't know that that was like against the rules.
That's a rule in every game. That's a rule in every game, Ravi.
I was talking to one of my friends, and then I was like, because it was in my friend group chat. I was like, this group chat has ruined me. Not the game, like my friend group chat, because we do that shit all the time. We remove each other from calls, even if we slightly disagree with each other, as like a joke. And so it just became in my mind just like a normal thing to do. So I just did it. I just did it. I didn't know it was against the rules. That's the full truth. And the other truth is, I didn't buy the sheriff's badge until after the vigilante was placed on me. That's all true. All I said was true.
Cheryl, what brought you to, because up to that point you were like very quiet. What brought you to all of a sudden come for Raffi?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I don't even know. I don't know what started that whole.
All I did was I like asked everyone, is everyone ready? And or I think it was about like buying an advantage. And then just out of nowhere, Raffi's talking about his coin total. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm sure. You were saying that he was lying about how many coins he had, because he was saying he had like none left because he bought the sheriff's badge. And you're like, yeah, you stole the money from Gloria. And that's how the whole fight started. It was just so out of nowhere and confusing. But again, one of my favorite moments from the season.
Only
So
thing that whole argument proved was I do have a voice.
absolutely. So I feel like we've covered pretty much everything from this season. So I wish Tyler was here, because Tyler had some videos where he can give them to you guys when the season's over, but he took Stan Twitter videos and that represented each of you, and they were really funny. So when the season's over, you can definitely ask him for that. They're really good. I know that Nay wanted the floor to talk about her opinion on things. So Nay, I can give you the floor really quick.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I have a lot of opinions. I'm trying to think what the hell you're talking about. Oh, hi. Okay, I think I know what Dylan's talking about. This season, personally for me, was really great. I enjoyed all you guys's gameplays. I stand by this. I say this in a production chat all the time. Chantel, you played one of the best games ever. I can't wait to go against you in a future season and duke it out. You are what Mona Lisa from last season tried to be. She tried to play everyone and make it to the end and win. And no one was really going for it, except, I'm not gonna call them puppets because they weren't puppets, but besides her alliance, everyone here, no one felt bad that they got played by you. They just all said that they felt like their connection with you was very genuine. And I all honestly feel like you are what Mona Lisa embodies to be when she played last season. I enjoyed Yoshi trying to go to the Bahamas for like $60. Um, Darian, I apologize. My sister gave her vote for Gloria during the twerk off because she felt like Gloria was throwing it in the octagon better than you were. Josh, you were one of my number one draft picks since production we were doing interviews. I was just like, I'm drafting Josh. This is a season Amel will win. If anything, I want Josh as my draft. No offense to Darian and Yoshi and Rafi and Alex. No offense to you guys. I was just like, I want Josh. I like that you guys played messy. Word of advice, especially since I held from the Kumbaya season. Do not be afraid to say names. My season, the house was split into two, except me and like two other people. We didn't even know there was like alliances. And once we found out that they were just using us as numbers, we took them out slowly. I made final six and final five, and Gani made final three. And we weren't a part of any alliances. We took both sides of the house out because we were like, fuck that. What the fuck? We weren't a part of this shit. So word of advice, like Dylan said, don't be scared to say name because both alliances knew that there were alliances. What's the worst that can happen when you guys get voted out? That's going to happen either way. Just say names. Don't pussyfoot around. The only thing that I did not like this season that I've seen within players and people who or in the YouTube chat that kind of bothered me. And I guess it bothered me because of my profession. Words like those people when referring to people of color, um I don't like that. That's not me being sensitive, because I'm not really I'm a sensitive person. I'm a Cancer, but at the same time, I don't got a problem talking about how your mama on crack at the same time. So I'm not that sensitive.
Oh.
But using words like those people when referring to people of color doesn't sit right with me, whether you were a player saying it or you're in the comments saying it. I know it doesn't, you didn't mean to say it like that, but just hearing like those people, knowing who you're referring to, is very irritating. And to the people in the YouTube comments, watch what you say, because you guys don't forget that the players are allowed to rewatch episodes after the fact. And they do not like to be referred as those people. And of course, we know why they're working together. Let's be honest, we know what you guys are trying to say. And as a person of production, I can't say nothing, but if it made me feel some type of way, I'm pretty sure it made people who are playing the game feel some type of way to be referred to as those people. And of course, we know why they're working together. As stated before, the people of color in this game, aka the Black people, didn't work together because they were Black. They worked together because they were the minority in the game. There was a bigger alliance that did not include them. That's why they band together, not because of the color of their skin. And all I'm gonna say is, next time I see comments like that, Dylan, I'm sorry, this is his game, but as a person, no one's gonna stop me for cussing someone out.
Oh, feel free to do it. I honestly don't look at the YouTube chat. Like,
and Jennifer,
unless I'm getting
since
super
I said something and you didn't like it and you told me to direct it to who I'm trying to say, Jennifer, if you are not Hispanic or Latina descent, you do not get to say someone is being sensitive for something that they've seen. Since you want me to direct it, it has been directed. Thank you. Oh, also, you guys are free to come on my podcast. It's called Let's Talk About Sex. Thank you.
Well, closing statements. If I had to, we have some awards. So first is going to be Hero of the Season. This is going to be to the person that I felt played the most heroic. Oh, Miss Congeniality Award. I forgot. I had everyone vote for who they thought was the kindest person this season. It was very close. We got some votes for Layla. We got some votes for Rowan, some votes for Yoshi. But ultimately, the cast has voted for this year's Miss Congeniality to be Keisha. So congratulations, Keisha. You are Miss Congeniality of I Love Money 9. Do you have anything to say?
Shut up, really?
Yes.
Oh.
It was 3-2 to 2 to something like that. But congratulations.
I'm gonna shed a tear. Bye.
For Hero of the Season, this is hard because I don't feel like anyone here particularly was a hero. But I would have to give that award to Layla, because Layla, actually no, I have to give that to Rowan, because Rowan really was just trying to be nice and really was just trying to have fun. And Rowan did have an uphill battle, and she was pretty heroic, and she made an upswing comeback, and she was pretty heroic. And I would have to say Layla's the runner-up for that award, because Layla was gung-ho, all about her team, her people. She was willing to put herself on the line, and she was very heroic the whole season. Villain of the Season, this is not even a competition. It goes to Chantel. Chantel was a villain all the way through. She was slicing and dicing in her diary room and cutting anyone's throat. And Chantel, good luck if you play in an all-star season, because people are going to come for you 100%. But you might even be in the top 10 of villains. Uh, best fight is gonna have to. It's hard because it's between Gloria and Rafi's fight at the final four, and then Cheryl and Rafi's fight. But I am actually going to give it to Cheryl and Rafi just because that fight was so unexpected and weird and funny. But it was very close for the other fight.
I said I came to fight. I said I like to fight. So I did
All
what
right, the
I came to
Vixen.
do.
Funniest unintentionally funny player is going to be CJ. The reason why I'm giving it to CJ is because CJ would sit on these lives and he would just say things like, I remember there was one night where Rafi didn't pick him for his team, and he was like, well, Rafi, you could have picked me for your team, and it got really awkward. And then he would just sit there and he looked like a zombie. He looked like he was dead, and he'd just be like, I love CJ so much. He's
What was I
so
supposed to
funny.
say to that? What was I supposed to say to that? I remember that moment. I was like, ugh.
And y'all got nice CJ. I have seen videos of him in another game. He is no chill. So I was very surprised how chill he was in this game, but I think if he would have lasted longer, he would have been good. Biggest blind side is probably going to be, I would say it's between Keisha's elimination, Yoshi's elimination, and Elliot's elimination. But ultimate, and I would include Sunshine's elimination, but I'm gonna say Elliot, because I think that it was more of a blind side on Josh's part than it was on Chantel's part, because when he saw Josh reveal his name, Elliot was shook. So I would give that blind side over to there. Oh fuck, I had another thing. Oh shit, or was it? I forgot what the next category was.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, but Nay's been begging to speak. She has something to say, I guess.
Oh, Nay, what do you have to say?
I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone who I'm about to offend, but Dylan, you know how my mouth get. You know how my mouth get. Jennifer, Shamrock was right when he said you're a bitch. I don't care if your daughter's there. You're a bitch. And instead of talking about my ass drop, sweetie, you should be asking yourself why you're not proud to have a Black mother and you want to be so whitewashed.
Wait, what?
Okay. So next time you talk about my ass job, let's talk about how you're forgetting you're half Black and you want to act like a white woman.
Wait. No.
I said what I said, Dylan.
I know, but we have to. But this is about the season 9 people. We're celebrating them right now. But oh my gosh, I didn't know. We'll talk afterwards. But I'm weak. Most robbed. I'm gonna give this award to Darian, because Darian genuinely, truly, had he not been eliminated during the purge, would have potentially won, if not made it to the finals. Worst move.
Wait, Dylan, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What, to go back to that, I guess this is also act as my closing. Like, because it's funny because like Keisha will always tell me like I thought you will win, and I don't think I played it all game. But if anything that this game taught me to stick to what you know best, because I guess that's my thing. I tried, like, I got in my head during that comp, like Cheryl did outbest me with like the betting, but like more so in the comp I got into my own head, so like I really wanted to win to say I won something. But I just realized my place in the game is I'm a strategic person, so I'm not a comp person. I just need to stick to what I know, and I think that probably would have got me further, but you know.
Like I said, Janine won nothing and she won the whole season. So you're absolutely right.
I love him.
Even though he said he's after you like white on rice.
Oh yeah, I love rice.
Worst move. It's between Josh not eliminating Rafi or Chantel and Keisha staying or putting fold instead of stay. But I'm actually gonna give it to Keisha putting stay and putting fold instead of stay, because I think that either way, Josh, it was a lose-lose for Josh, but for Keisha, that lost her the game. And if she had stayed, she might have won the game with that one move. And I felt like Josh's move was kind of warranted, and it wasn't a game losing move because he still could have made final 2 with Rafi. We already gave out player of the season. I think that we gave out pretty much everything. And if I were to critique each of you on your gameplay this season, Chantal, I don't really have anything to critique you on. Good luck next time you play with anyone in this cast.
If I play again, I'm playing differently. Trust and believe that.
No, Chantal, you're gonna be first out of the 6. I said
No. That's why I had the insurance policy in my pocket.
I'll take you.
No, I knew about it, so that's the only difference. I was that thorn. I knew about it. That's the only difference.
You didn't need the insurance policy with us, Chantel, but
No,
now
but like
showed
because
your
of what happened with day
backside,
one,
so-
I was still in my head. It
No.
was still in my head.
No, you're right, Chantel, because since I knew about your Golden Lock 2, that's why at Final 6, I didn't say your name. I said Keisha's name.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why I followed you. I'm like, you should have to say my name, but then if she said my name and then it would have been me down there, I would have used my lock and then Keisha probably would have been down there.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, look, she's gonna want to save her lock for the final 5 because I believe that's the last round they said it could work. So like, and plus I knew about you that you're kind of like Sandra, like you're kind of anyone but me type vibes. Because I can't tell you, anytime we lost a member of the Space Club, you'd be like, well, at least we still here.
I was plotting and planning around that, like ever since Chance, I was like, okay, that's where in my mind I was like, I need to start like planning because I'm like that can backfire me, because especially if it got down to us, and if she was up, easily we all could have went up, and I probably know I would have went up, but I was just trying to find plans, but I guess I didn't get that far to combat that.
With Rafi, I felt like your only misplay was you were trying to align based on personal like rather than strategic like, and I think if you had tried a little harder to kneel yourself into that alliance, you could have, but honestly it worked out in your favor at the end of the day. Like, you did everything good. It's just the only problem was you didn't have the respect of the jury. But again, if you were against Josh, you did have a case because they were very impressed by you winning that final comp. I just think that the only thing against you was that you had tunnel vision on Gloria, or at least on the lives you had tunnel vision on Gloria. So that kind of hurt you. But I thought that you played pretty well. Josh, I think the only mistake you made was at the 9th inning, you kind of were, I don't think you were hypocritical to the game you were playing or you were trying to play, but they viewed it as hypocritical to the player that they saw you as. They saw you as the person playing for numero uno, and you were playing for numero uno, but in the last inning, you stayed loyal. And I think that was kind of where you lost the respect of a lot of the jury. So I think that that's really the only thing you should have changed. Other than that, I thought your game was great because even though people knew where you stood or knew where you were, they couldn't get rid of you. So they were stuck with you basically. And it was great. And you didn't really need to win. And the only thing was that a lot of the jury did have bitter feeling towards you when the end came. But who knows if they would have given you the vote. Gloria's not here. But if I was Gloria, the only thing I would suggest, I already told her what she needs to fix. I don't know if she were to play again, if people would actually let her go that deep ever again, but I said the same thing this season. I said the same thing last time. So Rawan, I thought Rawan, the only thing with Rawan is I think if she would have tried harder socially and campaigned harder, Chantal would have kept her and she could have potentially won. Keisha, the only thing with Keisha is you doubt yourself. And if you were to play again, don't doubt yourself. You had your thumb on the pulse the whole game. You knew what you were doing. You were very smart, very intelligent. You just didn't have the confidence and to follow through. You were right. So next time, even if it's not in this game, follow through and trust your gut, because your gut is right. For real. Layla girl, you are a comp beast, and I think the only thing that you could have changed is being a little more social with people, but you did up the ante, and your pitch to Rawan to keep you was a great pitch, and I think had there been one other person from your group in the bottom, she may have kept you around. Like, you are going to be a beast if you ever start playing these games more seriously. You were reminding me of Brayden, who was a beast all the way back at season 3.
Are
Like,
we allowed to know what was said? Because like I'm still to this day curious.
What Layla said to her was that if she wins, she won't take Rawan out and she'll back her up. And she's a more stable ally than Cheryl would be, because she said Cheryl's not really going to win anything. And she was right. It was a good deal. And it kept her in the game. Cheryl, I think the only thing with you, people wanted to take you deep in the game, but you wear your heart on your sleeve a little bit and you let people know that you're over it, and it kind of turns people off. And that was the reason ultimately why you got sent home. So I think in the future, just you're very bubbly, you're very fun. Just don't let people see that negative side, because when it comes out from you, you let people have it. Which I love, but it can turn people off. Darian, same thing as Keisha, just don't crack under the pressure. You're a very good game player. You're very smart. You're very strategic. You knew what was going on. And really the only thing that you need to do was win a comp. But other than that, just don't lose faith in yourself, because you knew what you were doing. Alex, I thought that your game was great. I think the only thing that fucked you over was the fact that your alliance got exposed. And at that point, you were just the biggest threat of your alliance. I think if you were to play again, people might need to watch out because you know what you're doing. It's just you didn't have a good footing in this season. But and Rafi too, making it obvious that you two were a pair did make you a target to take out. So, but your game was pretty good, and you were one of the front runners from the beginning. Yoshi, the only thing with you is follow through on your plans. You had all these great ideas, but you didn't execute them. I wish that you would have made it official with Gloria, Cheryl, and Rawan, just as a side deal, even if you weren't going to actually follow through on it. Like, you just need a little more of a killer instinct, which I know that you have. And I think that was the only thing missing from this season. With you, I thought that you were playing great, though. Your social game was probably one of the best of your groups. So yeah, Elliot's not here. Shannon, with you, Shannon, you are messy as hell, but I love it. And again, I think that had that whole Gloria situation not happened, you had a lot of longevity in this game because you were flipping at the right time. You were hopping off your sinking ship, and Chantel and all of them were going to take you deep. It's just the wrong person was paymaster and they just didn't back you up. But I thought that your game was really good. Like,
and never volunteer to go in the bottom.
Yes, never.
But I just think that whole scandal was what ruined your game. But I think that you're a fierce competitor, and if you play again, they better watch out. And then everyone else, and then player of the season is Kimberly. So that's pretty much it from my part. So I want to turn it to you guys. Is there anything that we haven't covered that anyone wants to bring up before we wrap up this reunion? Is there anything we haven't said?
I just want to give some people advice when playing games, that when you realize that you're on the bottom, some people need to learn how to pivot, and work with other people, even though it's not freaking working. Just do it anyways, because you never know when your ass can be saved. That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
Anyone else? All right, so then I'm going to give each of you one final chance to say your piece, say your goodbyes, give your thoughts on the game, plug something if you have something coming up, and then we will finish the season. So I'm going to go backwards in elimination order. So we'll start with Shannon.
Sorry, I was on mute. No. You know what? Regardless of everything that happened, I think you guys are all awesome. Just that cattiness and whatever, I don't like that. I'll always speak up for it. Everybody here, I would absolutely play with any of you. I absolutely love Yoshi and Chanel. Sorry, I just had to. But you guys are all awesome. I think the only person I probably wouldn't play with again would be Rafi, just because I feel like he doesn't I don't know. I just don't like when. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I feel like he doesn't like a strong woman. I feel like he doesn't let people get a word in. Just like with Cheryl, I can totally understand why Cheryl lost it with him, because with him, if you don't agree with him, you automatically are yelled over, and it's hard for some people. But I think he's a great person. I just wouldn't play with him again just because of that. I wouldn't want to get into that kind of situation again. But I think he's awesome and funny, and that's why I spoke with him earlier on in the game. Alex and I, we would have like, I talked to him from the very beginning, and we had a final too. He was so funny when I came to him and told him that I had placed the bounty. Yeah, I just had fun with all of you, and I'm really, really happy that Chantel won, because I was high key voting for her, just pushing for her to win the whole time after I was gone. But you guys are all awesome, and regardless of everything that happened, I love y'all.
Thank you. Next up is Yoshi.
Hello. No, okay. I would just say that this was a fun experience. I enjoyed it so much. I love getting to meet everyone. Of course, I love more others than others, because I didn't really talk to a few people. I mean, I talked, but not talk. And it was. I would say this game was hard because I played more. I think a little. Like, I know you have to make deals and promises and stuff, but I didn't do that like with the other side. I was more, I'm not giving you a promise, I'm not giving you a deal. So if I have to say your name or get rid of you, like, that's how it is. But now seeing how Chantel won, I'm like, dang, maybe I should have done it more. But overall, I had really fun. Maybe if I do get on this next time, I hope I do win a competition. And what else can I say? Oh, and take Twist out of this game. Tired of getting taken out by Twist. That's all.
Thank you. All right, Alex.
No, I genuinely did enjoy playing this whole game with you guys. I know I was on a different alliance and a different side than a majority of you guys, but either way, like, any personal conversations that I had with you guys, I genuinely like meant it, and I really enjoyed getting to know everybody here. And yeah, nothing. You guys can catch me on Instagram. I'll still wish you a happy birthday on your birthday on Facebook. And yeah, I hope you stay in touch for real.
Thank you. Next up is Darian.
First I want to thank you, Dylan, and the production for putting on a good game. Like I said before, this game really put me out my comfort zone, but in a good way, because I'm very like a self-conscious person. So like doing things in this game really made me kind of be a little bit more confident about myself too. So kind of like that's why I see a lot of myself in Keisha too, because like we're the same person, just different coasts. But however, I want to say, I guess to everybody, it was fun playing with you all. Whether we talk game or not, I know for a lot of you we talked, if not everyone, personal more than game. It was really fun. If one thing I learned from this game is, like I said earlier, just to go with what you know your position. I think everybody can take a role with that, just knowing the position you is in and playing it up. But yes, would I come back and do this? I don't know, Dylan. Catch me in like 30 years. I'll give you an answer to that. But yes, thank you.
God, I hope we're not hosting in 30 years, Lord. Okay, next up is Cheryl.
Oh, sure. I was froze there for a minute. Sorry. I had fun. I got what I wanted out of the season. I told production in my interview that I didn't care about winning, that I wanted to make new friends and meet new people, and I got that. To Rafi, I have to say this, honey, you can go toe to toe with any woman, but you will always get knocked down every time because you stood toe to toe with me, but I still won.
Oh my God.
All right.
Talking shit, Cheryl. Talking shit.
Damn, where was this the rest of the reunion? Shit. Okay, well, thank you, Cheryl. All right, next up is Layla.
So For my first org, I have to say, like, not to, toot my own horn, but I think I did a pretty good job. It was a lot more fun than I expected, especially since like it started during finals week. But it was so last minute, but I'm really glad I decided to play. And honestly, I want to do more in the future. So I'm glad I got to play with everyone, and I'm glad I got to meet everyone. It was a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much for playing, Layla, and I'm going to see you soon, okay? Thank you so much for playing. I'm so excited to have you play. So great. All right, next up is going to be Keisha.
Toot that horn, Layla, girl. Toot. I just want to say thank you, first off. Thank you, Mr. Dillon. I adore you. This was a lot of fun. Everyone on production, Nay, you're like my girl forever. And even Tyler, now that I realize who he is, Mr. Country Ham, hilarious. So I wish I would have got to talk to him more. And I adore you, Isaiah, forever and always. This was a great experience for me. It did a lot for me, and I appreciate it. And even though I went out the way I did, I'm glad that I played the way I did. I was authentically me. But also seeing how everyone others play, I don't know if next time I will play the same or if I will adapt to some of the sneakiness of others. But we'll have to see. I'll have to see, depending on the game that I play again. We'll see. But I like being me, I like it. And hopefully everyone else likes it too. So thank you all. And I adore you all, even though some of you, if you live close enough to me, I'd probably shake you. But, and Yoshi, I love you, and you need to stop being so hard on yourself. Okay? Because you're awesome.
Amen.
Thank you. Like you.
All right, Mr. No Chill, Prince, aka Prince Petty, aka Josh Jones. Go ahead.
Yes, this was a cool little experience. This, I don't know, this is cool. Yeah, every once in a while, I like playing orgs, just like outside the little org community that I've been in, because those people get cliquey and then they know each other and then they always stick with their friends, and that's boring and that's a lot of bullshit. So every once in a while, like the last time I played a game that was outside the community, so when I played Raffi Survivor, and that was a lot of fun because I felt like it was a chance to go and test myself where I don't feel like I have like outside forces already working against me. So I can come in and like play with like brand new people and like they can judge me accordingly. It was cool. Most of y'all were adequate human beings. Look, I don't give too many compliments. Shit, y'all already got big enough egos as it fucking is. But no, like, if y'all want to hit me up, I am No Chill Josh on social media. It's underscore at the end on Twitter, Instagram. On the underscore is between Chill and Josh on Instagram. If y'all care to follow me, I host a game called The Divide. It's based on the kids' reality show Endurance. It's a lot of fun comps, twists and turns. I'm hoping that maybe one day we could do a collaboration with DH1 Productions, so I could get this to a new audience and bring in some new people, because like I said, that old community is trifling, but I love to see some new faces because I feel like it's a fun game and everyone who plays it likes it. And I feel like with a new audience, with a different caliber of player, with more cutthroat, more edgy, more range of players, it could be really dope. I would love to have nearly everyone who played this season play that game. I'd love to host y'all. Yeah, and believe me, because of my position in the middle, I had to be all Chill Josh. when you're safe and comfy, there's no reason to have no chill come out. But baby, please believe me, let a bitch come for me. You're gonna see just how little chill I have. So maybe for All Stars, if I were to get an invite, best believe no chill Josh will come out to strike. So be careful what you bitches wish for.
You heard it here first, folks. The dragons are coming. The dragons are coming. All right. Our runner-up, Rafi.
Hi guys. I don't know where this thing came where I hate strong women came from. I mean, you can think what you want about me. I ain't gonna stop you. It hasn't stopped a lot of people from thinking things about me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I don't know, I'm really tired. I took a NyQuil like 2 hours ago and here I am still up. I'm ready to pass out. So yeah, great job, Dylan. Good game.
Thank you. And last but not least, the newest inductee into the DH1 Hall of Fame, Chantel.
That's Miss Villain to you. No, I'm joking. Okay, first of all, I want to say thanks to production, thanks to Dylan, thanks to Nay, my Zodiac sister, thanks to Isaiah, thanks to Aaron, thanks to everybody else, because I don't know everybody else's name, but yeah. I want to give a shout out to Danielle for telling me to play this game. And then I'm going to give a shout out to Josh for telling me to play this game. And then I'll give another shout out to Dylan for telling me to play this game again. I just want to say that this game was so much fun. It got me out of my comfort zone. I did not think I would be good at no lip sync battle nonsense because that's not me. Your girl is reserved and she's quiet. So, yeah, I really liked meeting everybody on this cast. I feel like I have lifelong friends and I usually don't feel that way in orgs. So that is big coming from me because usually in the org community, if I play a game, I'm gone. You don't see me ever again. Yeah, I'm really thankful for the people that I've met on this game. It's been super fun. I hope that we never lose touch, guys. Okay, don't be afraid to say hi. Okay, I don't bite. And yeah, also I want to say one more thing. In my intro video, I said that I came here to win the shmoney, and I did just that, honey. Period. Oh, also, if you want to follow me, okay, shameless plug. Okay, bye.
Oh, she was ready.
Where's my $20, Dylan? Where's my $20?
Yes, I actually have that. Please give me guys your info, your money info. And
I'd like to say,
do you accept Venmo?
What were you gonna say, Darian?
Oh, just shout out to Nay because I'm feeling a little good walking out here with the amount of money I did. So at least I walked out with something if it was not the win, and then maybe a little bit more than.
How much did you win?
Almost $40.
I'm weak. That's more than the runner-up.
Period.
Wow.
Did Nay host a mini game for the jurors to win money? She did, and everybody played, walked away with more, at least $20. I know that's right.
What'd you gotta say, Keisha?
I got more than runner-up too.
I'm weak.
So did I. Dylan, where's my fan favorite prize? Shit.
Yes, you got a $5 fan favorite prize.
Wow,
too.
I got all the way to the end, and I only get measly $20.
Well, Rafi, look.
I apologize. Listen,
I come in third. All these bitches get to go and have a game to win more money, and then y'all make the finale. I get walk away with $5.
Well, to be fair, we had a choice whether to give it to y'all or not, but
And of course, you selfish bitches are gonna go and take it for yourself.
Why wouldn't you take it for yourself? It's money for a
Okay,
game that
bitches,
isn't
I'm
real.
Rafi, in my defense, bestie, y'all had a chance to win $170 and y'all only won $72. Okay, so there was more money to grab.
It's not my fault.
I can't play the weakest
It's
link
not
on
my
damn
fault. Y'all
self.
put
Everyone else
American
was the fucking
states
weak link.
questions when Chantel's from Canada.
Okay, y'all want to know how much crap y'all talking? There was 80 questions, and the jury, only 6 of them played, and they ran through those 80 questions. Okay. Chantel was not the
They're
only. Don't blame
American.
Don't
And
blame
you gave the
Chantel.
zodiac questions to people who are not zodiac people. So
Don't blame Chantel. She was not the only person playing the weakest link. Hello?
I blame Chantel, but when it was me and her in that final round, I was the one really answering all those damn questions.
Listen.
All right.
Each
Well,
other, okay.
before
Of
we
those
wrap,
8 questions, I answered like 6 of them. Come on, let's call a spade a spade.
before we wrap all of this up,
Never.
the last thing I have to say is thank you to everyone on this season for playing. This was one of my favorite casts. I'm very happy that I'm leaving this game with no beef, maybe with one person, but for the most part, no beef. I usually leave with at least beefing with at least 2 or 3 people. So I'm very happy I'm only beefing with one person. So I'm very happy about that. I mean, I would have liked 0, but I mean, woohoo, victory. What I want to thank Jennifer, Deshawn, Joseph Boza, Janine Jones. That's just who's in the chat right now that I'm looking at. Savage Evan. Really everyone that watched this season. Thank you to my production team, Janae, Isaiah, V, Tyler, Aaron, etc. For helping me put this show on. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you all of our sponsors. What can you expect from DH1 in the new year? Well, we have a lot of things. I Love Money is not done. We are still doing more I Love Money, but I want to try doing some new format shows. I've wanted to do Apprentice for a long time, so that will be our next project, The Boardroom. I've wanted to do DH1's Drag Race for a long time, so I want to do that this year. We were considering a Charm School type game. That is in the works as well, but I Love Money will be back. A limited series may be on the way. So these are just some things to look forward to. The next project that we are looking for, yes, you actually can if you want to. The next project that we are looking forward to doing is The Boardroom. We have some exciting alumni that actually have signed up. We have 2 winners in the winner circle that have already wanted to play this upcoming season. So that is what's to look forward to. As always, you can follow us on the DH1 Network on Facebook. You can follow me at Slightly Bitter with an AH on Twitter to keep up to date with all of DH1's projects. And other than that, I guess we will see you guys next time. So from outside the I Love Money Death Valley Ranch, for the final time, I am your host, Dylan Andrews. Be good, be safe, stay
And fuck
bitter.
Jennifer.
And we will see you later. Goodbye.